and then we did this. I'm great. I will hope everybody listens to me.
Adam Curry, John C. Dvorak.
It's Thursday, October 31st, 2013. Time for your Gitmo Nation Media Assassination Episode 561.
This is No Agenda.
Scaring little children for fun and profit at the Travis Heights Hideout in the capital of the Lone Star State, Austin, Tejas. In the morning, everybody. I'm Adam Curry.
And from Northern Silicon Valley, where it's always Halloween, I'm John C. Dvorak.
It's Crackpot and Buzzkill in the morning.
I'm sure you guys have always celebrated this bogative holiday.
Yeah, when the kids were younger.
Yeah.
Hey, today is 10/31/13.
That's correct. Oh, another opportunity missed.
Yes, we missed it.
we are so good at this.
31/13.
Oh my God! I guess a fantastic. What?
3113.
Yeah, it was a fantastic donation opportunity. Once again,
Yep.
Missed.
Again, lost cause.
That's
again.
okay, John, because my day started off really, really well.
What happened?
Well, I got the Smithsonian Institute. It's kind of like I remember going there when I was
a member. I'm also a member of National Geographic.
Are you a member of the Smithsonian?
No. I think I used to be.
Well, when we used to go visit Uncle Don and Aunt Meg in the D.C. area.
What do you mean used to? You're never going to see him again?
No. When I was younger, like really much younger, we get family like vacations. We go from.
It is the way you start those stories. You'll get it when you get older.
All right. When I was a kid and we were living in Kensington, Maryland, from time to time we'd go down to the hub. The mothership to visit with Uncle Don and Aunt Meg. Now, this is only a few years that I remember this because, I was in Africa for a while and then after that in Holland. But I remember Aunt Meg would always take us, and Aunt Janny would always take us to the Smithsonian. And you could see, like, the capsule, the Mercury capsule. And I always looked at it and like, that shit wasn't in space. So, did you ever had that when you see that thing up close, like, really?
I don't know, is that the original or is that some phony copy?
I think they claim it's the original, but I always remember as a kid looking at that thing going, nah, there's no way. The door doesn't even close right. This is not true. Anyway, so I've always been a fan of the Smithsonian. I've always felt that it was kind of an interesting,
So you just think the whole thing is bogative. Smithsonian is just a bunch of artifacts that aren't real at all.
Here from the Smithsonian website, they have a new edition to the Smithsonian. They're very proud, and they have a copy of the artifact with the deed of gift, number 3189 or 8. The phone that helped Andy Carvin report the Arab Spring is now in the Smithsonian.
You're kidding me.
No, it's really here.
What did he do, steal the phone from the hotel?
No, it's like an iPhone 3.
Oh, please.
Andy Carvin is a man of many titles. Digital media anchor, real-time news DJ, and online community organizer, to name a few. But one he is most comfortable with is storyteller.
Yeah, well, there you have it. I think that says it all.
I threw up in my mouth. NPR's social media strategist, Carvin, used Twitter during the Arab Spring to communicate with protesters in the Middle East and verify eyewitness accounts from the front lines, most of the time while he was on his iPhone in the United States. The hero. He recently published a book about his work, Distant Witness. Carvin has donated his old phone to the American History Museum, which will include it in American Enterprise, an exhibition.
So somebody finally figured out a way to get a write-off on those clunkers.
Man! We're doing this all wrong, John. How can we've 6 years, 561 episodes of the best podcast in the universe, and Carvin's phone is now in a museum.
Well, I think we Carvin's phone.
Oh man!
Whatever happened to Carvin? You used to ridicule him mercilessly.
Well, the Arab Spring turned out to be bogative, and then the whole thing is dumb, and everyone knows it.
Well, I don't understand why they bought into that phone. There's probably some hidden messaging going on, or something in the phone that someone needs to retrieve.
This is a very long news announcement and blog post, and it's an interview at the same time. Oh my goodness! Here it is. So they have a picture here This must be at the newsroom. From left to right, David Weinberger, Rob Patterson, Andy Carvin, and Jeff Jarvis at NPR HQ. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Is that picture at the museum, or is that just on the website?
No, it's on the Smithsonian.com website. For some reason, they're relevant to the story. I can't.
Yeah, what do they got to do? Those guys got to do with anything?
But that I found that like 2 minutes before we went on air. I'm like, I have to share that with you. That is very disturbing.
Yeah, I'd say.
All right, so it's Halloween here on the day that we're recording this. John, your most memorable Halloween costume?
I dressed up as an adult.
Okay, really?
Went from door to door.
Okay, seriously now, for 1 second?
When I was a little kid, my parents made a robot costume that was quite creative.
Really? I can just see you. Do you think that influenced
it was done with a bunch of... my father was working as an electrician someplace, and he got this weird kind of... this coated... these tubes that were made out of some sort of aluminum fiber. And so that would be my arm. So I actually had arms that could be moved, but it still looked like solid pieces of metal. It was actually quite... I think I won the award in third grade for that costume.
And do you think it influenced your career choice later in life as a writer of things about technology?
No, not at all.
No.
It was just a costume.
I remember the first two costumes. They sucked. I was a leprechaun one year. Seriously, Mom? A leprechaun? Your mom just put gay and kick me.
I'm gay.
Kick me. And then it was Casper. But Casper is a gay ghost. And it's like another gay Halloween.
Well, maybe they're trying to tell you something.
I think
now
so.
You're starting to act out too, which makes it even weirder.
Yes, I'm telling you, it was very, very, very annoying.
Mimi's the one who's the costume nut. She has made. She likes to make these costumes when the kids were younger. And she kept them all. They're in storage.
Oh, really? You mean archived?
There were archived. Yes.
Yeah.
There was costumes such as one of the kids, I think it was JC. It was one of those costumes that I think Benny Hill used this bit, where you're riding a dragon, and the feet of the dragon are your feet, and then you have phony legs around the dragon coming from.
Yeah, of course, yes.
I know
exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
Do you imagine how many hours it takes to sew up something like that? It was like any excuse to spend days and days.
And for
on
what?
A costume.
I think these, because of course this morning I had to cruise through Facebook just to see. And Facebook is made for this type of bogative holiday. It's great because it's like, look how great I made my kid look.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Or my cat. Look at my awesome makeup. It's selfie heaven, is what it is.
And you go from door to door with the kids, like, "Oh, that's cute." Or, "What are you?"
Yeah.
"I'm a witch. What do I look like, you idiot?"
Yeah, so we have a plan. Apparently here in Travis Heights, I think they dump kids off with school buses to go walk up and down the boulevard here, the street.
There are certain neighborhoods that are targeted.
Yeah, so apparently this is one of them. So Mickey has, and she's been making all this stuff to hang in the trees, and she's got. So we're gonna sit there, I think, with white face makeup, with top hats, and if I know Mickey, reasonably scary looking, and we're going to get drunk. And just sit there and just wait for the kids to appear and just go.
I think on top of that, one thing I used to enjoy, was setting up a speaker system, like a PA, with the most horrendous sounding, Wilhelm screams and things coming out of it that was just keep people away.
I got a great one. Okay, so I'll set up the well, of course, it's no longer a stereo system. I'll set up like a.
Mono's fine for this.
Yeah, okay. All right. So, and I'll play this on a loop.
Straight from Reseda, here she is, Raven. Give it up.
Just play that over and over whenever the kids walk up.
You have the parents coming over wondering what the hell's going on.
When the kids walk up. All right, this is a better one.
Bambi to the stage.
Bambi to the stage. That little kid's walking up the porch. Yeah,
That would be
Bambi.
funny.
Yeah.
If you could cue it so you have a button when you see the kids coming, you push the button.
I think I can handle that. I think I have things that I can cue that will then fire when I push the button. I think I can work on that.
Yeah.
All right. I'm happy for a little bit of distraction, quite honestly, because, man, it's been the weirdest week when it comes to stuff to analyze. Because, when you have one huge thing going on, it's bad enough, but now you have a number of things happening. And now I'm looking for, okay, what are we missing? What is the distraction there are things going on. People by now are taking advantage of the situation.
Well, there's a couple of things I'm noticing.
Okay, what you got?
Well, first of all, they keep trying to. Let me just start with this premise. They may be skipping the six week cycle for whatever reason, because they keep going. Everything seems to be a callback. There's news piece after news piece about hurricane storm, tropical whatever storm, superstorm Sandy.
Was it Randolph?
No, Sandy.
Oh, because we had a storm here somewhere. There was a Randolph or something.
Well, no, I'm talking about these. They're doing callbacks to these old news stories. Okay. And then they even tried. The World Series ended yesterday with Boston winning.
Yes.
And so this guy comes out. He's happy as a clam that he won. And I got the little clip here. The guy who's interviewing him, how do you feel? This is a great championship. How do you feel in so far as, because Boston got the bombing from the marathon? He throws this propaganda in this interview, and the guy essentially, luckily, and I thank him for this, basically blows him off.
Be the best team that we could possibly be. Did we know we'd end up here? That was our goal. We worked hard every single day. Hey, we're world champs. Can't believe it.
Shane, you've won a World Series, but we all know what happened here in April at the Marathon. How much more meaningful is it to win this series in this park, in this city?
Hey, all those that were affected in this tragedy, Boston strong. Thank you very much. That's all I gotta say.
From worst to first, from tragedy to triumph.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, was to be expected. And if we had known any better, we would have done one of our predictions.
Somebody called us on it. A couple guys did. And it's absolutely true. It falls right into our formula.
Yeah.
Who's going to win? We could have done it when you do it early.
Yeah, but it's bad.
When the betting odds are good.
I know, but it's bad when we have a formula and it's been right so many times we're jaded.
And we don't even use it.
We're not like, oh, whatever. Oh, good news, though, just briefly. Really good news.
It's another installment of Dinner with the Obots.
Tomorrow, I'll have a great Sunday. Jam-packed Dinner with the Obots.
I love the new theme.
Yeah, isn't that great?
Yeah, Dinner with the Obots.
Sir Jeff, man, you know him.
Good. That's going to be great. That'll give us some material for Sunday, which is interesting because on Sunday we do the show an hour earlier.
Oh, that's right. We have
but actually an hour later.
Time change, right. Time change.
Yes, so we will be, for everybody who changes their clocks, there won't be any difference because they'll have changed their clocks as we will have done. But for people like, I think in Arizona, the show is going to be at a different time.
Yeah, because they don't change.
They don't change nothing.
Yeah. I did find something. There was something going on. Of course, I was cruising through the C-SPANs back and forth, and we had, more of the HCDG, which is what I'm calling it now, HCDG, healthcare.gov, HCDG. We had more of that, and then we had some more, more NSA stuff, and of course, I had to cruise around and see what was going on, but then I found something else going on. It was actually on C-SPAN 1, and it was the debate about H.R. 992, which has already passed in the House of Representatives, and it's Democrats really, really pushing for this bill, and I'm like, okay, let me see what this is. And it took a little time to kind of get into it. But once I understood what it was, it's very interesting and makes total sense that this is all of a sudden came out of committee and is now being debated. And I think either they will vote on it today or it's happening. And let me play a little bit of the representative from Georgia, David Scott. He is a Democrat from Georgia. And by the way, a very interesting speaker and man. That's one of these big, really dandy dressed men from the South, from the Georgia. I mean, he's really got something really appealing in the way he talks. Of course, he's a total bankster, douchebag.
Mr. Speaker, we have before us perhaps the most
I want to learn how to talk to this. Hello, children. Welcome to Trick or Treat. We have before us a zombie, a witch, and a ghoul.
No important bill facing the viability, the financial security, and the stability of the financial system within the United States and throughout the world.
That sounds pretty important. He had my attention.
We're dealing here with a $712 trillion piece of the world economy.
This is the first time I've heard this number. Typically, the number is 600 trillion. You know what I'm talking about?
712.
Mm-hmm. So normally, this is the first.
That's pretty specific.
Very specific. That's why I'm like, whoa, hold on a second. I'm paying attention now. Normally, when they talk about the worldwide derivatives, it's 600 trillion. So now we have a number, 712.
Right. I know what this bill is. Right.
It's the swaps push-out bill.
Yeah.
Now, my friends who are in opposition to this certainly have some legitimate points. No question about that.
Okay. It's the southern politeness.
We had a meltdown. Banks and members on Wall Street did wrongdoing.
They did wrongdoing. I do declare I have the vapors of the wrongdoing they're done.
But this isn't the bill to punish them for doing that wrong building.
Like you're ever going to punish the bankers.
Doing the wrong building the last time.
Oh, I don't know. Let me roll that back a second. I thought he said wrongdoing.
To punish them for doing that wrong building.
Sounds like building.
It's what he said. I think he is building. I think he's on drugs. The wrong building.
He said wrong building.
That's really weird.
Well, maybe
to punish them for doing that wrong building.
He says building. You're right. All right. Well, all right.
We punish them for wrongdoing by working with the regulators and putting, in fact, in motion, not just civil penalties, not just financial penalties, but criminal actions.
Yeah, I'll wait for that.
But we do that in another place, at another time. We have already approached that with the CFTC to use criminal actions if any of this kind of shenanigans happen again.
Shenanigans? Well, worldwide financial collapse. Shenanigans.
But we're here to make sure that our banking system, that our economy, that has to work on the world stage, has not a disadvantage.
All right, so what is that? I said ice cubes.
I'm dropping stuff into the pot.
Is that your scotch? It sounded like ice cubes.
That's funny.
So this is the so-called swaps push-out bill, and I'll try and explain it. I understand swaps because I've worked on derivative systems, and I understood how they worked very early on.
They're trying to regulate the credit default swaps. That's incorrect.
No, that's incorrect.
Well,
quite the opposite. Quite the opposite.
Hit the buzzer. Thank you.
Yes, the Dodd-Frank bill, Act, etc., had a specific clause, a specific section 716. And in 716, it stated that banks needed to take their swaps and derivatives exposure and put them into separate vehicles, which means a new company, that is outside of the FDIC, Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, system. So that should these, now we have a number, $712 trillion worth of derivatives come falling down like a house of cards or a huge domino event, typically done in Japan. God, I love it when those guys do that shit. Then it would not come down to the taxpayers to bail out the banks because they are in FDIC-insured vehicles. And this is now being repealed with this bill. And if we listen to Mr. Scott here, he says our banks will be at a disadvantage if they have to now actually set up different corporations to run their derivatives business, and and no one else has to do that. Boo-hoo for our banks. And it was a very interesting conversation because some people said, "Look, it took 66 years to repeal Glass-Steagall, and look where it got us. And now, after only 3 years, we're going to repeal one of the most important portions, Section 716 of the Dodd-Frank Act. We're on a fast track to hell." And I think they're right in this case, and I find it despicable that we have, people like this Scott jabroni saying, "Hey, this is we can punish bankers another time. Don't punish the bankers with this bill."
What's this guy's name?
David Scott, from Georgia. And of course, you can see that you can see why the banks would prefer to have the derivatives inside the FDIC system, inside their banking organism as we know it today, so that if something does fail, and this, by the way, is really Citigroup. I think Goldman Sachs already has adhered to the Dodd-Frank Act, and Citigroup has probably about half of the world's derivatives hanging off of their nutsack. So to me, it's quite obvious. Like Citibank's like, "Oh crap, we better keep this in here because we're going to take a bath on this stuff, and we need someone else to help us." Like, those Americans out there. This is kind of known as the Citigroup bill, but Citigroup is not small by any means.
Huh.
And this, of course, gets zero reporting because people hear swaps. I don't want to know.
Yeah, well, that's true. It's boring.
It won't be so boring when we have to bail out Citigroup again. Didn't we? What did we gave them like $500 billion last time?
They've gotten plenty of money from us.
Yeah. No, I agree. And it was funny because and I'm looking at
J.P. Morgan's got to be sitting on a bunch of this stuff too.
Well, something very interesting. So there was another event that took place over the past couple of days. It was the swearing-in ceremony of our brand new FBI director, James Comey, who, as we know, comes from the banking world. Not specifically, he's been in government before, but he came from essentially a huge hedge fund, and he was on the board at what is the big money laundering bank? HSBC. And so I don't know if he's still on the board. He probably had to leave. That would make sense. And so he became the FBI. And the guy, by the way, is a head taller than President Obama. Which leads me to
probably dunk on him.
Which leads me to believe that the president may not be the 6 feet tall that everyone says he is. I was like, wow, that's weird.
Must be like 6'3" or something.
No, but like a head taller, John. He's like Lurch.
A head taller is like 6 inches.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
I guess it's probably more like 8 inches. So
they have this big ceremony. And this Comey guy, I already really am not liking him. Really. And his wife, and it smells elite from beginning to end. It just drips off of this guy. But here's the interesting thing: as the deputy director gets ready for the inauguration, we find out something very similar, something that this our new FBI director has in common with the president. Go figure.
We are here today for two purposes. First, as many of you know, Director Comey was sworn in during a private ceremony in Attorney General Holder's office on September 4th.
Now, this is like, what? Really? In a private ceremony in Holder's office? And so this is where, to me, it was like, hold on a second. Wait a minute. This is the guy going after Jamie Dimon. And it is the FBI, by the way, who is doing one of these huge multi-billion-dollar probes against J.P. Morgan. So it makes total sense for a competing board of directors, former banker hedge fund guy, to become the boss, sworn in like secretly, quickly, just before this whole J.P. Morgan thing falls apart, and Morgan has to report, $23 billion in reserves for litigation and fines. Oh, that's just a slight coincidence, but it gets better.
But we reviewed the rules and regulations and determined that oath was invalid because his spouse was not holding the Bible.
Uh-huh.
So officially, I've been director. And second, equally important, we wanted to be able to officially welcome Director Comey and his family into the FBI family.
Yeah. Yeah. So 2 inaugurations. Could be 2 of these guys, I'm just saying.
Yeah. Why not? We got 2 presidents.
This seems to be like a theme with these guys. I will just do over. Because his wife wasn't holding the Bible? Seriously?
I don't believe that. No.
If it was a joke, it wasn't very funny.
I think it was a joke.
It wasn't very funny. It really wasn't very funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, but
it was totally a joke, and it wasn't funny. You're right. But there's no way.
But it kind of clicked for me. September 4th. This is about 6 weeks ago, or 7 weeks ago. This is exactly when when all this stuff came down with J.P. Morgan. I'm telling you, they're cleaning out, they're cleaning house, they're getting back at people, they're positioning. Someone's getting screwed, and it's Diamond, definitely. But people are jockeying for position, and this guy. It's amazing how he must have the goods on so many people, or he must have the best tip sheet in Washington that everyone wants to be on his email list. It's unbelievable. This guy got confirmed.
Yeah, no, it's totally odd.
Other than that, he's a banker.
Well, you got bankers running the FBI. That's interesting. Well, that means you know where they're going to be headed.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be headed at the banks.
What do you mean?
They're going to start taking names and
yeah.
You're going to be no. I think your theory's right. But that's what I mean.
Yeah, but it's only going to be a couple. I mean, we have to have winners and losers.
Don't know that.
Oh, please. The banking sector is so competitive.
Yeah, I know, but the idea is, when you can go after these guys, you can start to. I think there's going to be a money grab. The FBI confiscates all kinds of stuff. They have all these things. I mean, they take money from. I mean, the government or the local authorities and the FBI and all the rest of them, they do everything they can to confiscate stuff.
Right. And have you?
So they can confiscate like billions and billions of dollars. The tax coffers need all the money they can get.
Right. Well, I mean, it's not just tax coffers. They get to do stuff with that money.
Yeah, it's true.
They get to go to buy hookers and all kinds of stuff. And have you noticed how both the FBI and the CIA are getting like no blame, no finger pointing, no nothing in all these revelations and all these hearings and everything? And now even Dianne Feinstein comes out, full review of the NSA. Stop! This is crazy. We can't have this. I went back to our original theory, John. Our original theory that this is the CIA versus the NSA.
Right. I don't think that theory's been dropped.
No, but I do have some additional things that became very interesting as former deputy CIA Mike Morell did an interview on CBS 60 Minutes. And he said a number of things. In fact, here's the opening of this interview where he's introed. He's never done a public interview. First time ever, as he's resigning after 33 years. It's unbelievable.
Really?
Oh yeah, seriously.
33 years.
Oh yeah. and
right, that means we have to take this with a grain of salt.
Yeah, yes.
Or it's code. Or we're supposed to pay attention to it. I don't know.
I don't know either, but I was paying attention. And what do you think is the worst part of all the revelations that actually would benefit people like us, you and I trying to figure this thing out? But of all the Snowden leaks, which of course, we'll get into that in a second. But Glenn Greenwald and Laura Poitras and everyone has everything. It's not like it's not like Snowden is sitting there like, oh, let me PGP encrypt this and send it to you.
Right. We already discussed this in the last show, which is that he gave all the documents both to The Guardian, Greenwald and
Yeah.
I guess that guy with the Washington
Shall I tell you
Post.
something else? You know what happened after that? Greenwald and everyone went, hey, thanks. See ya.
Pretty much. I'm sure.
Oh
that's
yeah. Oh yeah. They said, hey, thanks, buddy. Well,
Greenwald's definitely one of those guys who took over the car and kicked you out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They said, get the bitch out.
Let me drive.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way,
you're out.
Bye.
You're out. Oh, but we can get you here's a ticket to Moscow, and well, you can live in the transit lounge for a while. We haven't figured that part out.
Said Julian Assange as pen pals.
Yeah. Well, here's Julian's email. And here is, I have an iPod first generation with about 10 songs on it. And enjoy your life. Thanks a lot. You've made me a wealthy man. We don't need you. Screw you. Okay, but really this has all been about NSA, not about CIA at all, not about the FBI. But what do you think the CIA would claim is the most damaging but actually for them is really good, and for us even better? I don't even think this is known that he leaked this. This came out in August.
Well, there's a lot of stuff that keeps coming out forward that I say, I never heard this.
Right.
I don't know. Just play it.
Mike Morell was deputy director of the CIA and gave us the only television interview he's ever done.
Ever.
He spoke to us largely because he believes
Stop. But I think people out there should realize that when something like this happens, he's never given an interview before. Why would he suddenly, out of the blue, do one now? It makes no sense. Those types of guys that are that deeply entrenched and stuff, they never come out of the
closet. Just say
it.
They never. No, of course not. And all of a sudden now, for 60 minutes, I have something to say.
He was brought out for a purpose.
And it's after 33 years. So this is a message we have to pay attention.
The very nature of the spy business keeps successes in the shadows, but often pushes failure.
Hey, that's just like our show. We keep our success in the shadows.
Yeah, but that's not because we want to.
No.
Into the bright lights. Morell operated in those shadows, but his insights have helped shape the key foreign policy decisions
The CIA wrote it, of course. Duh.
Yeah, obviously.
Of the last 3 presidents. The first thing we asked Morell about was the last thing he did at the CIA, taking part in the damage assessment on Edward Snowden, the NSA contractor who leaked classified documents about America's secret electronic surveillance programs.
I do not believe he is a whistleblower. I do not believe he is a hero. I think he has betrayed his country.
How serious a hit is that to national security?
I think this is the most serious leak, it's the most serious compromise of classified information in the history of the U.S. intelligence community.
Most serious ever in the history of. But what is it really?
Because of the amount of it or the type?
The amount and the type.
But of the hundreds of pages of NSA documents that Snowden has leaked, Morell pointed to one in particular that has caused a great deal of damage to U.S. intelligence. It's a copy of the top-secret document the CIA calls its black budget. What value would that have to an adversary?
The real damage of leaking that document was that certainly they could focus their counterintelligence efforts on those places where we're being successful and not have to worry as much about those places where we're not being successful.
It's kind of like handing over the playbook to the other team.
Yeah. The question is, what team are we talking about?
Wait a minute. So what we heard here is that the CIA's most concerned about the black budget document.
Well, the question is, are they really, or are they pointing something out? And I think they're pointing something out. Because I went to find this, and so this apparently was published in August. I missed it. I did in the Washington Post. Well, that kind of explains why I missed it. And of course, they're not publishing the entire document. They publish like 5 pages of 130. So, I hate this. I really hate this about how this is working, because, they make a whole story. They make pretty graphics, all in the show notes, of course, 561.nashownotes.com. They have big headlines, and then they show you some extrapolated information, but certainly not the entire document. You can't even, you can download document source, and it's like 4 pages. And it goes from page 14 to 60 to 133. Half of it's redacted because they're doing this with, it's sanctioned. It's obvious that it's okay, you can put this out. And when you look at it, headline screams $52.6 billion, the black budget. And then it shows you, and I think this is the whole point, where the money goes. Now, you'd think that the NSA gets all the money and has all the people. Isn't that kind of what we've been told?
Led to believe.
Led to believe. Well, the NSA certainly does okay with $10.8 billion, but the top number one agency with $14.7 billion is the CIA. And if you look at what they're spending it on, and you look at how many people they have...
What's the National Reconnaissance Office?
God knows. The CIA... Oh, no, that's the satellite guys. That's the guys that keep shooting shit into space all the time from Vandenberg. That's NRO. That's the...
Are they associated with the NSA or the CIA? Do
CIA.
we know?
Oh, I'm pretty sure it's CIA. But I may be wrong. But if you look at
Nation Signals, it said when you use the word signal, that goes right to the NSA.
I'm not
so
buying.
So it's possible that you have 14.7 plus 20, 1.1 combined for NSA NRO.
Here's the next category I looked at. Number of employees. NSA 23,400. CIA, 83,675 full-time employees.
Wow.
The CIA is the Mac effing daddy of this thing. And I believe that along with our theory that this is really just, CIA. Of course, let's not forget, or let us remember that Snowden worked for the CIA, that he said he hated the NSA. The CIA didn't tell the NSA when he was put on an NSA job through his contractor that he had said, "Oh, I'm going to blow it wide open on these guys." And there's a lot of stuff that that we now that points to this really being a CIA op. And in the midst of all this, in the midst of all this NSA stuff, there's this really feeble attempt by Amnesty International. But they killed a grandmother with a drone. The CIA is not good. I mean, they've been trying to get this into the news. And
this, by the way, I want to stop you here because the graphs about who's employing who are very
confusing.
Sketchy.
Confusing.
The 83,675 is not CIA.
It's full-time civilian employees.
Of all, apparently, of NSA plus CIA, because military positions are 23,400, and it just says NSA employs 64% of all military personnel. It doesn't say that 23,400 is the number for the NSA. This is very vague.
I'll agree with you. I'm not sure what now you're making me question what the information is. But also, I mean, it looks like an airplane seating chart. Just give me the frickin' data so I can do it myself, which they don't give you.
All they tell you is there's 107,000 employees in the intelligence quote-unquote community.
Right. Well, this graph...
They don't give us a breakdown between the two. I would assume there's more CIA people, but I don't think it's this by a factor of 4.
Well, back to the top. Looks to me like CIA has all the money.
Well, not if you combine the NRO money with the NSA money, then they don't. And based on our theory, which would say that the CIA wants more money and that the NSA shouldn't be getting as much as they're getting.
I think it's different. I've really been thinking about this. So the NSA, I watched the whole half-hour interview again that the planned propagandistic with the crazy music that Kaiser Alexander did with his blogger.
Oh, that thing.
Right. Okay. Now, why did he do this? It's because he can't, the CIA owns the media, not the NSA. NSA does not own Hollywood. They don't own the media. They don't know how to do this. And in hindsight, now that I'm thinking of this Alexander is being bullied. I'm telling you, he's being bullied.
He's acting like a kid who is being bullied because if you listen to the way he talks, he talks like the Leave It to Beaver kid.
Yes.
And, he's got a nervous quality and he's defensive. And in fact, I have one of the clips here, which would be worth playing.
Yeah, let's do it.
which is the Kaiser Alexander clip. Which one is it?
I got Foreign Partners or Story Turning Around to Espionage. Foreign Partners. Okay.
National Security Agency Director.
The head of the U.S.'s National Security Agency has countered claims that his organization collected phone data on millions of Europeans, describing them as completely false. During a congressional hearing, General Keith Alexander went on to say the NSA acts within the law to stop militant attacks and works closely with America's NATO allies.
The sources of the metadata include data legally collected by NSA under its various authorities, as well as data provided to NSA by foreign partners.
Right. Exactly. So he is on the defensive. I am now really starting to believe that not only does he feel like he's doing everything right by the book, I think he is. Now, John, you and I both know big data is big doo-doo. The Amazon can't figure out what they're still trying to sell me Superman underwear or something. It's like they have no idea what's going on. I bought tickets to KLM on KLM to Amsterdam. Every single website I got is still trying to sell me tickets to Amsterdam. So the big data is bullcrap.
I know, this is hilarious to watch.
Yeah, there's no idea what's going on. And these guys have no way of parsing through. He even said so much in this interview. Was like, well, if you have 70 million phone calls, it would take 2 million analysts, 100,000 years. But what he is doing is slurping everything up. And that's by design. And that's really all that he's doing. And he's been doing a pretty good job. However, he needs to be kept in check because I think he's been handing out candy to too many people.
IRS?
Yes, IRS.
Corporations. We already know the IRS got information from the NSA to bust some taxpayers. We also know that the FBI has made a move on some people based on these kinds of illegal wiretaps.
Yes. But if you want to know who the real scary people are, the NSA, they're not walking around with guns and dart guns and sticking you with a needle and you fall down dead. They're not droning people. No. They're not. Here, listen to now. We got to go back to this interview where they talk about the drones. So this, and there's a reason why he's doing this. He's basically saying, and this is Mike Morell, who never done an interview. He is going to tell us how great the drones are and what would happen if we didn't have the drone program, which is surgical in precision.
In Morell's 33 years in the CIA, perhaps the boldest change in how the agency achieved results came literally out of the blue. Armed drones in the skies over Afghanistan, Pakistan, Somalia, and Yemen became the go-to weapon to kill al-Qaeda terrorists. But the UN and others have said they've also caused hundreds of civilian fatalities.
This is a very precise weapon. Collateral damage is very low. It's not zero. I wish it was.
Yeah, me too.
But it is as close to zero as we have gotten with any weapon system in the history of this country. There is no doubt in my mind that without these operations, that there would have been another attack in the homeland that would have rivaled the scale of 9/11.
No doubt in my mind. He's proving a negative. I love it. No doubt in my mind. On the scale of 9/11, 3 buildings would have collapsed at the speed of gravity.
That clip that I'll dig it up. We'll play
Which one? I might have it. What? Which one?
Well, it's the one of Feinstein. This is from 4 years ago.
Oh.
It was Feinstein asking all these generals and the head of the CIA and the head of national intelligence.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think we're going to have an attack on the homeland within the next 6 months?
Any minute now. Yes, any minute now.
Yes, any minute it's going to happen. Oh, yeah, I agree with that. We're going to be attacked.
Any minute now. Oh, I hear something overhead now. Okay, so this is him. So this is very important. This is the difference between the NSA and the CIA. NSA, basically Carbonite.com. Just backing everything up, sucking it all up, and possibly able to retrieve some stuff based upon, if you got an email address, and I think we can kind of figure out, where it's located, and we can find it's an interesting project that he's put together.
But they can't do any. They've got all this data, but they can't really analyze it in advance.
No, you can't.
That's why they couldn't stop the bomb.
Exactly.
They can't stop anything.
You can't do this in real time.
And the 52 examples or whatever the number was,
54. Yeah,
were all bogus because they couldn't find a real example.
Right. But the real people who need to get this department under control because they need to shut up do as they're told, and oh, by the way, Nerd Boy, get out. We're going to put a new guy in, a Navy guy. So Nerd Boy, you're out. You're stupid. You got a big mouth. We don't like you. We're embarrassing you. But we are the CIA, Central Intelligence Agency. We kill people. Some people get up. You listen to someone's iPhone. We get out of bed, put our pants on, and kill people. Ha! We drone them, and we pay off leaders of former oil executives posing as leaders with hats made of goat fetus skin, because that's what Karzai wears. We pay him in cash, and we're not ashamed to say it.
To pave the way for military and intelligence operations, including the use of drones, the CIA has reportedly supplied between $50 and $100 million over the past decade in direct cash payoffs to President Karzai.
Foreign aid is one thing, but cash in suitcases and backpacks to the president and key aides has a different feel to it.
It's all foreign assistance to the government of Afghanistan.
It's foreign assistance, my friend. Pallets of money. Pallets in backpacks. And let me tell you, I want to come back to two things we've discussed in the past. Isn't it interesting that we no longer, it has been outlawed by the press somehow to film flag-draped coffins returning back from Afghanistan, Iraq, or anywhere for that matter, most likely because if you believe in the continuance of the American hero story, which was a true story from the Vietnam era, it's full with drugs. Everyone knows, the United Nations, the World Health Organization, everyone agrees that Afghanistan now supplies over 90% of the world's poppy products. Heroin.
Right. And the CIA controls Afghanistan. And of course.
And they're paying for it.
And if you don't play the game, they have a drone program.
Yes. Yes.
Is there a quid pro quo here about you take care of me and I'll allow unfettered drone operations in the country, even though they're unpopular?
I think that those things that President Karzai allows the United States of America to do in Afghanistan are in the interests of Afghanistan.
Yeah. These guys have no shame. And this guy came out to say it. And I think, John, he was sending a message to a number of people, and I'm taking it. I'm accepting this message from him. CIA is really in charge of the whole deal. We run everything. And we run the White House, we run the whole thing. And where's Brennan in all this? You don't hear about Brennan anymore. Look at the purge that has taken place. Look at everyone who's gotten kicked out. They kicked out Petraeus. He was annoying.
Yeah, Petraeus had to go.
And how do they do that? I mean, classic CIA stuff in conjunction with the FBI, I might add. They had the FBI do all their nastiness. Now let's go back for a second and talk about our friend Glenn Greenwald. So I'm not liking this guy. And
we've gotten this impression.
You figured that out, didn't you? Yeah, you figured that out. Yeah, I know. So he is in control of the whole show. He is in control of what is being leaked out, but he needs protection. And where is he getting his protection from? Well, I'm going to submit to you that his protection comes from the CIA. I think Pierre Omidyar, I'm not quite sure how you pronounce it, Omidyar, who has direct business dealings with Booz Allen. Oh, where have I heard that name before? Booz Allen.
Snowden?
Oh, do you think Snowden was a contractor for Booz Allen? Pierre Omidyar, who, let me see, wasn't he in charge of eBay, who bought PayPal, who denied WikiLeaks payments? Isn't that the same Pierre Omidyar? Thank goodness Glenn has a friend at Democracy Now! In Amy Greenbaum, who is just sitting there, and she wants to be hired by him so bad she's slipping off her chair. You can see it. She's like, this is so great, you and Pierre. You got $250 million. It's a journalist's dream. It's a dream, I tell you. We can save democracy. And so, of course, she has to ask the question, about this PayPal thing.
Have you talked to Pierre Omidyar? Are you concerned about issues like, he's a founder of eBay. eBay cut off, eBay owns PayPal, which cut off support for WikiLeaks. What kind of discussions have you had around that, which certainly would be relevant to what you want to do and your deep concerns about control?
I'm going to call that a scripted question. How did you read that?
Yeah, I would say I wouldn't disagree with that. It sounded very scripted.
Very scripted.
Sure. In the very first conversation or second conversation I had with Pierre, I asked him about that exact issue, and what he told me was that at the time, and this is absolutely true, he was not...
It's unfortunate. It's a really bad Skype connection.
No, I watched him. I've got some clips.
But he says, this was absolutely true. What Pierre told me is absolutely true.
CEO of eBay, he was not involved in mismanagement or PayPal, and that he actually disagreed with that decision. And a newspaper that he owned, Honolulu, that he created and helped out, and at which he was working, editorialized against the government's attacks on WikiLeaks' funding.
Okay, let me just replay this. It was very hard to hear. But he says, the second time I ever talked to him, that was the number one thing I asked the second time I talked to him, because, it's just such a minor thing. He said, look, I was not the CEO. Dude, the guy is like in the top 50 richest people in the world. Look at his Omidyar network. Look at the corporations that invest with him and in him and with his some of them come directly from the intelligence community. This guy, if he says open up PayPal to WikiLeaks, it opens up to WikiLeaks. This is
I would
bullshit.
agree that he would have that clout, yes.
Yeah, and then to say, but he had an online newspaper in Honolulu who editorialized against it. Oh, sure. I'm convinced now. Absolute truth. No, this is CIA, or maybe it's even a separate faction that we don't even understand, but this is the same people who are screwing the NSA, who are helping with it. It's protection. Greenwald, you have protection now. You're a bitch. You're a protected man now. And good luck with that, because these things always come around. This will not end pretty. Will not end pretty.
No, actually, I was thinking about that today. There will be a point where, like in that scene we had the clip of, where why take a chance?
Yeah, with the casino.
The guy at the end, they say, what do you think? He's a good guy. He's a good guy. He's a good guy.
Why take a chance?
Why take a chance? And he's not, he's not a... Let's say Greenwald's not a made man in the agency by any means. Yeah, he'd be cut out.
And now something very interesting happened, and someone is going a bit too far. And again, I'm going to point to the agency, because the agency, as you know, I'm familiar with some protocols from the agency. Booze is approved. Drinking of booze, boozing, getting hammered, drinking drunk is all good. Philandering, women, men, transgendered, whatever you can get your hands on, but typically we like guys with gals with skirts. Approved. Not a problem. Drugs, yeah, we move them, we sell them, we use them for leverage. We don't do them. CIA does not do drugs. This is a no-no. This is culture.
It's always been a smart policy of drug dealers.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw the movie. It was just on Scarface was just on the other night.
Exactly.
That's what happens to you if you use your product.
That's right. You do not want to be smoking your own dope or sniffing your own blow or whatever it is. And it's a very good policy. And this is real. It's the truth. Okay, just like Glenn Greenwald said.
But this also applies in Monaco, where you can't if you're a citizen, you can't legally go into the casinos.
Exactly.
Because that's where the money's made, and they don't want the citizens giving the money back. It's stupid.
Yeah, or getting compromised.
If you own a liquor store, you don't become an alcoholic.
Well, all right.
Well, a lot of people do, but that's the reason you see what happens. Yeah. Anyway, go on.
Right.
I'm sorry.
But there's also, they like humor. They are way into jokes and humor and sometimes little practical jokes. And...
that's funny that you say that, because the people in some of the most darkest professions love humor. I gave a speech once, and I forget, I was in the Midwest somewhere, and it was the mortuary association of undertakers of some sort. Huge group, national group.
I bet that was a hoot.
It was unbelievable. Everybody brought their hot rods, and they were wild. It was the wildest group I've ever seen. And talk about, there was some guy regaling people with some of the most filthy and actually hilarious jokes. Everybody had a sense of humor. They were yucking it up. I've never seen anything quite like it.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Anyway.
So we had this, again, and now this came out through the Washington Post. Barton Gellman, whatever, but it's all from the same group of people, and we saw essentially they said it looked like a Post-it note of how, and really, so two parts. So NASA's NSA's muscular program, really, and this is how they collect data from Yahoo and Google, and they get it by decrypting out their edge server before it goes into the internet, et cetera, et cetera. And really, if you dig into the 3 slides of the hundreds that are in this deck, because the deck slides are numbered, but of course, they're not going to give you the full deck once again, and stuff is redacted out because it's all been approved. It's all gone through channels. This is no surprise. No one didn't know this was happening. It's just more psychological warfare on you, the people. And then and this is where they messed it up. They put an acronym. GFE. You saw the acronym GFE?
Yeah, I did.
Which stands for what?
I don't know what.
It's like the Google... hold on a second. What did they call that? Like the Google Fiber Exchange or something like that?
That could be.
And it had a little smiley face under it?
Yeah, the little smile, kind of the smile, a smile, kind of an emoticon style.
Yeah. Let me just bring it up. I want to get the acronym right, because when I saw that acronym, that's when I knew they were fucking around.
I always thought it'd be a good faith estimate.
No. If you Google GFE right now, you will get the true meaning as the internet knows it. Go ahead. Google
Girlfriend experience.
Thank you very much. GFE is it's like bicurious as a category. That's what escorts, that's what hookers put on their ads, GFE. It's a girlfriend experience. That is the top hit. And so for these guys to put GFE as their little acronym.
With a smiley face.
With a smiley face. Okay. You got me.
I mean, somebody's getting screwed.
Someone's getting the girlfriend experience, and I'm thinking that's Kaiser Alexander. or maybe he's not giving enough girlfriend experience to his Uber lords at the CIA and Pierre Omidyar or whoever else. It's the Google front end server. I'm sorry, GFE. So this is now they're taking it over the top, and I think they need to stop. Because,
and by the way, you can do that, but let me just ask a simple question, which seems everybody and Google and these guys are all bent out of shape about this one slide. And it seems to me that when the whole thing began and they had that slide where these big companies have already signed on. Remember that original slide?
Yeah, the original Prism slide, yeah.
The Prism slide. It showed it all. Wow, we got them. We finally got Apple. Hooray for us. We got all these guys. They're all part of the scheme.
Yeah.
Well, if that's true, why did they give a crap about any of it? I mean, this is like there's something wrong with there's something discrepant about the Prism scheme slide and this slide, which indicates that they're sneaking data out when they apparently have the front door open to them.
Well,
what am I missing in this?
I don't think you're missing anything other than the USA Freedom Act, which Feinstein will either get on board with or she'll create her own version of it. Now we're going to have a new bill and new laws that curtail the NSA, which is exactly what we need if we're the CIA. We need this guy reined in a little bit. His britches got a little big. He got a huge amount of the budget. That has to stop. Son, you need to shut up and you need to be a backup for us, as in like Carbonite. And when we say we want something, you give it to us.
Yeah, and you don't give it to the FBI. You don't give it to the IRS. You don't do this. You don't do that. And the thing, and you're not so stupid as to blow this stuff out to embarrass the intelligence community at large.
Yes.
This is like a even though it's not, CIA got themselves out of a bind by not getting mentioned. But now the focus is the focus, and the focus can't not reflect on the CIA in one form or another, and that's what it's doing, and that's not what, by your thesis, they don't like it. And now I'm reminded, just to top that off a little bit, one of the old heads, even though he was head of the CIA for a while, but we really more associated with the NSA, is Hayden.
Yes.
And there's this story that we was going to run last show.
The train story.
The train story. And it just played. This is the story, and then I have a comment about it.
And the former head of the National Security Agency has been subjected to some unwanted eavesdropping of his own. Michael Hayden was riding a train from New York to Washington, D.C. on Thursday, giving an off-the-record phone interview as an anonymous former official. Hayden did not realize he was sitting close to former MoveOn.org director Tom Matzi, who proceeded to live tweet his account of Hayden's phone call. Matzi says Hayden's comments included harsh criticism of the Obama administration, as well as bragging about the CIA renditions program under President George W. Bush.
Yeah.
Now, here's the way I interpreted this. This story came out, was just played straight. But if you listen to the guy, the Matzi character, talk about this in other venues, you find out one thing. Hayden is on his phone in a public place talking loud.
Yeah.
And I've seen guys do this. You know, you've seen these guys, the blowhard with the cell phone.
Yes.
You know, in the airplane or in the bus or somewhere. Yeah. Oh, and then we did this. I'm great. I will hope everybody listens to me in earshot.
Exactly.
Which has to be, again, a galling. Well, can't you guys keep your mouth shut or go someplace where you don't have everybody listening to you? This is really bad.
Is Caitlin Hayden and I've not been able to find the spokeswoman for the National Security Council? Is she Hayden's daughter?
I don't know that she is. Let's find out.
I've been trying, but I just can't get it. I can't get a confirmation anywhere. So maybe not. Maybe that's really just coincidental.
That would be pretty funny if true. It's doubtful.
Yeah. Okay, so the thing that, you know, really they tried twice now in the past 2 weeks to get this, and everyone's trying to get this drone story out there. And it's based on a report, and actually the report's in the show notes for 2 or 3 episodes ago, and I looked through the report, and the report you hear the same story over and over again. A grandmother was out, you know, getting, you know, beets or something for a family, and then the drone killed her, and then the grandchildren came to catch her, and then another drone killed them. And that's at the top of the report. It's the same story, and no one's read the report. They just, you know, look at this story at the top of this report.
Story.
Let's use this over and over again. And that, of course, is directly attributable to Brennan and the CIA and the kill list. And how many more gatherings do we need to see in the House or the Senate? And no one is there from the CIA. The CIA is not being questioned in this. Brennan's not being called to account. Nobody. Only the NSA. And you know, and now we've seen it. Kaiser Alexander, who was a Trekkie. Nothing against Trekkies, but he's a Trekkie. And you know, and he wears like Vulcan underwear when he goes to sleep at night. And he's a hurt little boy. He's like, they're bullying me.
He's acting that way.
Yes. And you know, and so now, of course, it's like now everything's just, it's fair game.
He does seem a little bit, now that you mention it, I never thought, you know, we reevaluate constantly on the show. But now that you mention it, he does seem a little bit like a go by the book guy.
Yes, I think he's
exactly.
I think he's actually
exactly what it says I can do, and that's all I'm doing. I'm not doing any more.
Yeah, I did,
and that's why he's so defensive when he gives his. He's going by the book.
Yeah, here's my TPS report. I did it just like you asked, boss. No. It's and then of course. So now it's, you know, we need to mix it up a little bit.
By the way, I'm just reminded of another thing. I don't think I have this clip, but Greenwald's on Amy Goodman on this last show or two, yakking away. When he starts talking, the guy's just unstoppable. And he's going on. He says that Hayden. He just throws this in out of the blue, which again would be something you'd be prompted to do. Hayden is the most powerful. He says, there's no question about it. I don't think anyone would question this assertion. He is the most powerful man in the military, bar none.
Hayden?
Not Hayden. I'm sorry. Alexander.
Oh, please. Oh, please.
And he throws that Alexander is the most powerful man in the military. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
And you yourself, in fact, when we were beginning our thesis on this, brought up the fact that he's got this barricaded facility in Maryland, and he's got a ship dedicated to himself.
Yeah.
We're kind of buying into this thesis that he's the most powerful man in the military. He has his own army.
Yeah. And it's
this may be just the opposite. We're being led down a primrose path.
Ooh, explain.
Well, we're being led to believe all these bad things about I'm going to say Hayden again, but I mean Alexander. About Alexander, when in fact, from all appearances, he's a go-by-the-book guy, follows orders. He doesn't do anything. He's not an evil person trying to screw everybody.
No.
He's just collecting data. They can't do much with it, but he's collecting as much as he can because he was told to do that, and that's it.
And I looked into Leahy, because Leahy has some kind of power over him. And Leahy seems like a pretty straight shooter. Actually, he's from he's Vermont.
Leahy's not a straight shooter.
No, when it comes to this, yeah.
Oh well, he says a lot of stuff. By the way, he's in the tank half the time. He's on the air.
Oh, he's a drinker.
We've had. You're not paying attention. We've had drunk or not drunk episodes
about him.
With guy.
I'm sorry. I'm paying attention. I just forget the name sometime. But he's probably being used in this. And I think he's probably, if he's in the tank, then they got stuff on him.
Maybe.
Yeah, they got stuff on him. Oh, yeah. So then we came, anyway, to wrap it all up. So now, it's fair game. We can do whatever we want, and we can say whatever we want, and the press will publish whatever. I mean, you and I, we could probably concoct a great story, and we could make it credible if you made it about the Netherlands or something. I could probably have some credibility there that would make it work, and it would fly like this one.
A spokesman for Russia's President Vladimir Putin has had to deny reports that Russia spied on delegates at September's G20 summit in St. Petersburg. Reports in 2 Italian newspapers suggested Russia handed out USB memory sticks and phone charging cables. The sticks were discovered to have digital bugs built inside, which could then steal data and transmit it.
Oh, it's the magical USB data stealing transmitting stick. But this is I think the BBC, and you hear them like, it had a bug in there. I mean, they have no idea how to report on this stuff. They have no idea. No, it's really insane. It's funny because we have this world where we have technology reporting, which is all about shiny crap. And then we have real reporting, which is about technology, but they can't get past words like bug, snooping, glitch.
Glitch, yeah,
glitch,
your favorite.
Glitch. And then just some I'll wind up my stuff here. Just some general douchebaggery from the hearing yesterday. This is Rogers. This is the guy who wants so desperately to have new legislation so that all his buddies...
He wants to be a spy.
He is
he's a spy wannabe. No, he's a dupe.
Yeah.
He's a stooge.
But he knows he'll be in on all the contracts, and he wants to get... there's so much money to be made.
Oh, yeah, they'll bring him into a meeting or so he feels like he's part of this team.
Well, if you've read In This Town, then you know that this is how you build up capital, and then you leave government... And you go make a couple $1 million a year being a consultant to whoever. And one of these days, Ms. Mickey and I are going to pick it up. We're going to move to D.C. and become a consultant because I'm tired of poverty. But I still have some scruples left. So now listen to his view on privacy. Because,
This clearly indicates, in 10 years, that something must be doing right.
Something must be doing right. The guy can't even talk.
Something must be doing right.
Something like the computer that runs it all.
This clearly indicates, in 10 years, that something must be doing right. Somebody must be doing something exactly right.
Oh.
But who would be complaining? Somebody whose privacy was violated. You can't have your privacy violated if you don't know your privacy is violated.
What?
Yeah. This is a guy from the...
That is an evergreen. Just that little bit.
Well, can it be an evergreen?
You can't have your privacy violated if you don't know your privacy is violated.
That's
what
right.
Is this a world of Wile E. Coyote cartoons?
Wait until
where you run off the cliff, and if you don't know that you're off the cliff, you don't fall?
Wait until you hear the follow-up, because this law professor, of course, gives the logical rebuttal, which would be...
I don't know.
If a tree falls in the forest...
Oh, yeah, does it make a sound?
Well, of course it makes a sound.
Yes.
Yeah, well.
Right. But who would be complaining? Somebody whose privacy was violated. You can't have your privacy violated if you don't know your privacy is violated, right? Can you?
I disagree with that. I mean, I think if the tree falls in the forest, it makes a noise whether you're there to see it or not.
Well, that's a new interesting standard in the law. Like, we're going to have this conversation. But we're going to have wine, because that's going to get a lot more interesting.
Fair enough.
Yeah, he think that's crazy talk. That's just crazy. This is new. The law doesn't...
Rogers guy, the people, he's from Michigan, I believe.
I don't know, yeah.
People that vote for this character should be ashamed of themselves.
Yeah.
This guy should not hold public office. He's a out-and-out moron and something of an a-hole.
Well, it's just beautiful when someone says, if you don't know your privacy is being violated, then your privacy is not being violated. I mean, if you're asleep when you're being raped, then were you really raped? I mean, let's be honest about it. And maybe we should go rape him and ask him.
All 4 roofies.
Yeah, we should go Roofie Rogers. Oh, man. Show title.
Roofie Rogers.
Roofie Rogers. You go Roofie Rogers. It's just unbelievable. Here's the Kaiser spoke.
I can tell you factually.
We
do not have access to Google servers, Yahoo servers, ... We go through a court order. We issue that court order to them through the FBI. And it's not millions, it's thousands of those that are done. And it's almost all against terrorism and other things like that. It has nothing to do with U.S. persons.
On the best podcast in the universe.
He's crying almost. It's fact. It's fact. I don't. We don't spy on people. It's fact. We don't do that. And then the last one I got is Clapper, who has changed his mind because what was? Did we actually save that Clapper thing where he says no?
The funny thing about Clapper, by the way, this is interesting. I didn't realize this until somebody brought it up. When Clapper made his statement, when he lied to Congress,
yes,
they didn't swear him in.
Really?
It was considered it's considered like bad form to swear in certain people because their integrity would be impugned.
Really?
That's what I heard. Yeah.
Oh, that's something that needs to be pursued. Well, Clapper.
That's why there's been nothing done about it.
Okay.
Although, by the way, somebody else pointed out that you still lying before Congress is an offense whether you're sworn in or not. But it's obviously nothing's going to happen.
Clapper did a little statement, and we also got the talking points. I'm sure you saw all that was requested by Le Monde, where the NSA talking points and it's a document. They got it in the show notes, and the document says punch the 9/11 thing a lot. the talking point, because Kaiser Alexander he's really playing by the book. Oh, we got a FOIA request for our talking points for when I testified. Okay, here they are. And yeah, no, I said punch 9/11 because we don't. We're saving the world from another 9/11. We're doing. This is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. I'm a good guy. And in hindsight, yeah, he's just another government dude who really is trying to play by the rules. He can't get any play in the media because the CIA controls it. And he's doing everything he can, so he brings in the blogger to explain himself. And but think about it. It's sad, really. It really is sad. The blogger, because this is actually the guy you want on your side. This is the sysadmin who's actually trying to play by the rules, and he's getting shafted for it by the other departments. And here's Clapper, who has gone from no, we don't. Are you kidding? No, we don't spy on Americans. To now, every single time he uses the word spy, he does air quotes. Did you see this?
Yeah, it's hilarious.
And he's just saying spying. He's not. No longer is it information dominance or surveillance or or information or SIGINT. No, spying.
All of us in the intelligence community are very much aware that the recent unauthorized disclosures have raised serious concerns that you alluded to, both here in Congress and across the nation, about our intelligence activities. We know the public wants to understand how its intelligence community uses its special tools and authorities and to judge whether we can be trusted to use them appropriately. We believe we have been lawful and that the rigorous oversight we've operated under has been effective. So we welcome this opportunity to make our case to the public. So I'll repeat. We do not spy on anyone except for valid foreign intelligence purposes, and we only work within the law.
No. Okay.
Now, to be sure, on occasion we've made mistakes, some quite significant. But these are usually caused by human error or technical problems. And whenever we found mistakes, we've reported, addressed, and corrected them. There's no way to erase or make up for the damage that we know has already been done, and we anticipate even more as we continue our assessment and as more revelations are made. We only spy.
Sorry?
Can he answer the question, the simple question that comes to mind immediately, which is, if you guys are so good at all this and you correct all your errors, how did Snowden walk out of there with this much information and you still don't know how?
Yeah, no, he knows. He knows what's going on. Yeah, believe me, he knows. He knows.
For valid foreign intelligence purposes, as authorized by law, with multiple layers of oversight to ensure we don't abuse our authorities.
And why would that be important for policymakers to know what the intentions of foreign leaders might or might not be?
Well, for one, to determine if what they're saying gels with what's actually going on.
Gels.
It's invaluable to us to know where countries are coming from, what their policies are, how that would impact us across a whole range of issues.
Is this something new and different that the Intelligence Committee might try to target foreign leaders' intentions?
It's one of the first things I learned in Intel school in 1963. Leadership intentions, in whatever form that's expressed, is kind of a basic tenet of what we are to collect and analyze.
Yeah, what's your problem? What's your problem?
Meanwhile, we have this clip, Carney on Merkel, backpedaling and just falling apart. It's hilarious.
In Friday's press briefing, White House Press Secretary Jay Carney was questioned about NSA spying of the German chancellor.
Thanks, Jay. I want to follow up on your comment in yesterday's briefing about how the United States is not and will not monitor German Chancellor Merkel's communications. Lawmakers in Berlin have objected to that answer because you didn't say whether her communications were monitored in the past. So I want to ask you, has the United States monitored the Chancellor's phone calls in the past?
Nedra, we are not going to comment publicly on every specified alleged intelligence activity. And as a matter of policy, we have made clear that the United States gathers foreign intelligence of the type gathered by all nations. As I mentioned yesterday, the President spoke with Chancellor Merkel, reassured her that the United States is not and will not monitor the Chancellor's communications.
So here's how I see it. And then we should thank our short list, but we have a list. The NSA, now, I was aware of the NSA, and I kind of knew a little bit about the NSA because way back in like 92, 93, I was working, when I first set up MTV.com, a headless Sun 3 server. I set it up at a company called Digex, which was in Reston, Virginia. And Digex, well, they were bought later, but yeah, they literally had, there was a data center, and they had a T1 above a Chinese restaurant in Reston, Virginia. And these were, super cool dudes.
Sounds spooky if you ask me.
No, well, they were just really total, Emacs, writing, open carry, beard having, butt crack showing Unix dudes. And they were, these are the people that really helped build the internet. And we would, so I had my headless Sun 3, and they say, oh yeah, and I went to visit them once. I said, oh, over there, that's the black boxes. So who's that? Well, that's NSA and FEMA. And these guys are really smart. They're all over it. So this is not like we don't know that that they haven't been a part of our lives, but it's always been the spies are the CIA. That's always what it's been. And the NSA is a service bureau. It's like Akamai. Akamai doesn't take credit for streaming Jon Stewart. So these guys need to shut up. This is what's going on. Shut up. By the way, you're overcharging for your services. Your $10 billion. That needs to go to us because we're the Mac daddies. We got the drones. We're running the drugs, which is keeping the financial system alive. Back F off. And that's what's happening. And we're all being duped right into it. And it's all one big joke.
This is exactly what we said on this show the minute this Snowden showed up.
Yeah, but now it's starting to. Now people are making mistakes, and to me, the biggest mistake is Glenn Greenwald hooking up with his new his protector Pierre Omidyar. That was a mistake. It's a greedy mistake. Greedy. And you'll see.
I'm not going to argue
no,
that.
No, I know you won't
worth
argue.
Watching, and I'm also going to, it might be interesting to see who suddenly has an accident in a small plane. This has a lot of earmarks of the economic hitman story. If you take a look at it from a different perspective and consider the jackals and all the rest of the models of the economic hitman book in Afghanistan, and the real, I guess, whole card is the drones. Because they're blowing people up left and right. We don't know if this is like a personal grudge against some guy. Or,
and by the way, if I hear
who they're killing,
if I hear one more house that explodes because of a natural gas, have you followed this? Have you Googled that?
No.
In America? It's like every day a house is exploding, natural gas explosion, which Mythbusters couldn't even replicate. Mythbusters, which everyone buys into.
You also have Hastings, the little journalist, who was obviously droned or bombed or something.
Boston Breaks, something like that. Yeah, and then I'll bring out Andrew
and
Breitbart.
There's been at least 2 or 3.
Hello, Andrew Breitbart.
Oh, well, that's a pricker.
Yeah, pricker, and then the guy who who does the autopsy, he died.
Do wrong though. I can't figure out. What he did that.
Oh, I know what he did. He had the real goods on the president's heritage. You know that he's whose son he really is and all that. And maybe had the Columbia
it's been going around forever. I don't know anyone has any evidence. He must have had evidence. You're saying
that's what I've always heard, and that's probably why Hastings got droned too, is he was on that same tip. Yeah, come on. And look, I'm worried about Miss Mickey is all I'm got. I got no oysters, no fucking mussels, nothing that could be covered oysters.
Up. Right. No seafood.
No seafood.
Really, it's very easy to do that, by the way.
I know, and it's completely transparent.
Yeah. Well, that and prussic acid, that's another thing you got to worry about.
What?
Well, so you blow prussic acid into somebody's face and it creates a sign of heart attack, and then it immediately just kind of goes away, and it's impossible to.
Anyway, I hope that we've given. It certainly helped me, this little conversation. I think it puts things into perspective, and now you can watch this. And when people go, like they have no capability. They really, it's Yeah, if they focus on you, of course, there's capability.
Yes, if they exactly anybody that it's like the guy's a hitman from the mob.
Yeah,
if they're focusing on killing you specifically, you're probably going to get killed unless you're like unless you. It's pretty hard not. You'd have to be part of the group, or you'd have to. I don't know how you get out of it.
No, you don't. You don't get out of it. So, if someone really wants to target you, keyloggers, or there's a million ways to do it. But is there some Kaiser Alexander sitting up there in the cloud and like there's, like screens are running and like, boss, I found the terrorist. No. It's really, really not happening that way. Don't be fooled by big data in government, particularly when you can't be fooled by big data in commerce.
When the guys who have to do it to make a living, not just to get more government dole.
And the funniest thing is, if you go to like any website, like you go to The Guardian, go to any like Politico, you go to any site that is on this story, New York Times, you will see that they have a minimum of 40, but usually between 50 and 60 trackers, data trackers that are tracking your every move across the web. And they're still showing me shit that I already bought 2 weeks ago.
I know. I keep getting the same ad.
What are you getting? What ad are you getting?
Well, I buy wine. There's a wine operation that is kind of sketchy.
Yeah.
So I buy wine from them every so often, and every time I go to any, I get their ad.
Yeah. And
as if this is, I already buy from them.
Yeah.
I'm a customer. I don't need to see this ad. This is a waste of bandwidth. And I don't know.
But not even that. From a marketing perspective, I built a couple marketing companies. The opportunity that is being lost there. The opportunity to thank you, cross-sell you, upsell you.
Or the old deal they used to have at checkouts in a lot of grocery stores. The opportunity to say, these guys just bought from wine company A.
Yeah.
Hey, wine company B, don't you think you should be advertising to this person?
Right. So there's so many different ways.
I mean, there used to be. I think the company either went out of business or somebody put a restraining order or whatever. If you went to a certain, this was like, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 years ago. You used to go to, and there used to be a little machine at the grocery store, a cashier. You'd buy a 6-pack of Coke, you get a coupon for a 6-pack of Pepsi.
Yeah.
You buy a 6-pack of Pepsi, you get a coupon for a 6-pack of Coke.
Yeah.
Whatever you bought, they would counter-sell you.
The opposite. Yeah, the opposite, exactly.
Well, that was a great idea.
Yeah.
But this is bull crap selling me something. If I buy a Coke, if I went and bought a Coke and got a coupon for a 6-pack that was, so wait a minute, I just bought this Coke. I could have used this coupon. I paid too much. I'm not buying Coke anymore.
So big data is big doo-doo, and advertising on the internet is pretty much a Ponzi scheme. It's unnecessary.
So here is the clip. The last.
Well, I was kind of transitioning into.
I don't want to transition yet. I got a couple of clips. So we got to get out of here.
We don't want to thank our producers, and we're like an hour and a half into this shit, man. What?
We'll thank them in 1 minute.
Okay.
We got it. I just want to get these out because they will make no sense otherwise.
Good.
We got Peter King, who's the biggest. He's getting to be a bigger and bigger douchebag, and then on Democracy Now! Being clipped, and then Glenn Greenwald commenting on the clip, which I thought is a good kind of way to wrap this.
Okay, hold on. So where's the Greenwald response?
Peter King to Glenn.
Oh, it's all in one?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Oh, it's a twofer.
The president should stop apologizing, stop being defensive. The reality is the NSA has saved thousands of lives, not just in the United States, but also in France and Germany and throughout Europe.
What?
Hey, next time I see a French person, I'll be like, you know what? You should be sucking my balls right now. We saved you. You are the one of the thousands that we saved.
And, the French are someone's to talk. I mean, the fact is they've carried out spying operations against the United States, both the government and industry. As far as Germany, that's where the Hamburg plot began, which led to 9/11. They've had dealings with Iran and Iraq, North Korea, the French and the Germans and other European countries. And we're not doing this for the fun of it.
I'm surprised he doesn't say, and look at that Merkel. It's a dude. It's just a dude. That's the only thing I'm missing from him.
This is to gather valuable intelligence, which helps not just us, but also helps the Europeans.
That was Congressmember Peter King, who may well be running for president of the United States. Glenn Greenwald.
Well, first of all, are Democratic partisans at all embarrassed by the fact that the most vocal proponents of these NSA spying programs, aside from people like Dianne Feinstein, are the very Republicans whom they've spent years deriding as these radicals and extremists, people like Peter King or John Boehner or Michelle Bachmann, all of whom have very vigorously defended President Obama's spying program? Does that give Democrats any pause at all about what the real value or purpose of these spying programs are? What Peter King is essentially telling the French and telling the world is that they ought to be grateful that the United States government is invading the privacy of their citizens by the millions and intercepting their communications data. And I think that message is resonating really quite poorly.
Just briefly on this, that when Glenn Greenwald, if you look at his history, he ran into trouble early on, or in his legal career, and he basically quit practicing law. Some say before he was going to be disbarred because he illegally, ironically enough, taped conversations with people and didn't disclose that. You know this, right?
No, I don't know this. I'm all ears.
Oh, wow. Okay. So he's a lawyer, and
no, I know that.
All right. Well, but as the story goes, and I'm just giving you, the story the way I've heard it. So this is all. This is pre his work at Salon. So then he moved to Brazil, and he started a gay porn company called Harry Jock.
Right, I know that part.
And then he got a fight with his business partner or something.
Pierre Amador.
I don't think Pierre Amador was part of that, actually. And then he changed it to like Harry Dudes or something. Yeah, and then he kind of fell into that whole daddy pays for Salon magazine. So yeah, he's not like the cleanest dude ever, but he talks like, he takes a shit and it smells like roses. and I can tell you from being in the public eye, that comes before the fall. It really does, and it could be quite harsh. And man, just
well, he could easily be set up in some situation that would embarrass. Or the small plane, it's in one of the easy ways.
But he doesn't leave Brazil. He doesn't even leave Brazil. Let alone get on a small plane. No. No, he sends his boyfriend or his husband. Hey, honey, you go do that. It's like, okay. No. Anyway. We continue to keep our eyes on this and try and
it's a little longer than
yeah, it is, but sometimes
people at least have to have a clue, so when they watch these guys yakking away, they go, oh, brother.
And we also don't have to break for commercials, which is one of the nice things about how our system works. And our system usually works by me saying in the morning to you, John C. Dvorak.
In the morning to you, Adam Curry. In the morning to all ships at sea, boots on the ground, feet in the air, subs in the water, and all the dames and knights out there.
Yes, and in the morning to those who are able to receive the stream, noagendastream.com, noagendachat.net. We have multiple issues. The one that is most pressing is I would like to, right off the bat, send off some karma to Mr. Oil, who has been rushed to the hospital.
You've got karma.
Once again, there's something wrong. They can't figure it out.
So the last time that somebody kept going back and forth to the high school was Bubba.
No, don't say that. Don't say that. That didn't end well for Bubba.
No, it was terrible.
So Mr. Oil is like, it's a nightmare.
Hospitals aren't a healthy place to be either.
No, and he's in the UK, I think, with that fine single-payer system.
All right, here we go. We do have some people to thank, some executive producers. One executive producer. We only have one after their fabulous sixth anniversary.
Sack of six extravaganza.
And we have four, though. We'd like to get four associates. But the number one, David Julian from Morgan Hill, California, came in with $333.35. And he's our Blue Reflector fire hydrant, no agenda guy?
Yeah.
This should wrap up a string of donations and programming aimed at knighting the Julian brothers.
That's right. So he held off. He wanted to be knighted with his brother simultaneously, if I recall correctly.
If you find yourself thinking no agenda after spotting the blue puck and fire hydrant, I'd encourage you to donate.
Yeah,
We'd like to be addressed as Sir Julian and Sir James Julian, respectively.
Absolutely. And thank you. And of course, thank you really for your courage.
For the Blue Reflector fire hydrant. WJ Raps, $250 from Kerkrade. Kerkrade. In Holland. Wilbert Raps from Kerkrade. During my tally on the donation level, this $250 should finally be my jump to become a knight. The show brought me insight and glee. I'm still hoping for Adam to see the prominence when more producers would blog about the show using Dave Weiner's World Outline servers. I still haven't found time to roll up my sleeves and just create time and effort to make my own Fargo website. Imagine if more producers would be running websites or running sites that way, we could hit more people in the mouth online. So, Adam, I hope you consider doing a video.
Yes. Well, let me say that in the Freedom Controller, and it's all open source and you can all download it and set up your own thing whenever you want. We have this capability built in, and we're working on the rendering. And so, it's slow because we've got Dave Jones there, who's a sysadmin. He's got a real job, but he's doing stuff, and it happens. And so, hang in there, WJB Raps.
Okay, and now we have the Incognegro.
$250,
and he sent a note in. In the morning, Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince. First and foremost, I've been drinking cider. First and foremost, de-douche me and my good man, and de-douche me for aging for good measure. How do the boners live with themselves?
Let me do de-douche.
You've been de-douched.
All right.
Additionally, for the No Agenda enthusiasts working their way through the catalog of backdated episodes, the 11 shows ranging from 390 to 380 are just spot on. Where do gems like these appear? Quote, I mean, you can just hop into bed with our podcast in your underwear, and you got the same effect of a movie and a date, except you can actually get laid, which is like amazing. That's what you said, apparently.
And
387, 148, 47.
Hold on. Just want you to know. That's for real, dude.
Hell, she was out of her clothes and on the bus just before the show started, and by now, the ride's getting a little rough. Don't turn around, honey, at least not yet. Don't distract the driver. Relax, Adam. This one karma shot will take care of it, though. I'll take it. He wants a don't eat me, Hillary, shut up, slave, 2 to the head combo.
Oh, see, I don't have a note, so I wasn't prepared. That's okay. It's
still do it.
I haven't done Hillary in so long. What is it? Is it Lizzie?
Yeah, it's Lizzie's Don't Eat Me, Hillary Clinton.
Okay, so it's Don't Eat Me.
Shut up, slave. 2 to the head, karma.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
Don't eat me, Hillary Clinton. Shut up, slave.
You've got karma.
All right. Pulled it off.
That's good. We have $200 from Carnation, Washington. Anonymous. Dear John and Freddie the Firewall, it's been a real pleasure supporting the No Agenda show. However, my friend, we're going to have to do something with Freddie the Firewall today.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I've been thinking about this. I'm going to do it like this.
What are you thinking about? You want me to finish reading the note?
Well. Hey, kids, it's Freddie the Firewall. I got my mail. Hey, John. Want to smoke some weed?
It's been a real pleasure supporting the No Agenda show. However, I'm afraid I cannot continue to support the program now that Adam has been replaced by that no-talent Mickey Mouse ripoff. My wife is demanding, I say, that the show is turned off every time that screeching co-host opens his pie hole. It's with a sad heart that I stop supporting the best podcast in the universe. But here's $200 before I stop donating. I'll be happy to resume my monthly donations once you fire Freddie the douchebag and bring back the courageous Danish cunt, Adam Curry.
Okay. We might have to risk it, John. I don't know. Freddie's pretty good.
Paul Vella, $200 from Milton Keynes in the UK. Special Halloween donation. Since it's my 45th birthday, we have you down for the list. I'd like to treat myself with a special top-up donation, which gets me over the hump for the title of baronet. Make a note that he gets a new title, baronet.
Baronet Paul.
Although, so he's, it's a Sir Paul. Sorry.
Yeah.
Although I shall forego the title and work on becoming a full-blown baron. Keep up the good work, guys. Here's to the next 6 years. Okay. Those are our executive producers, associate executive producers for show 561.
Yeah.
Go to Dvorak.org/NA, channeldvorak.com/NA to donate for show 562. Also, you can go to No Agenda Show and NoAgendaNation.com and hit the donate button, and you'll go to an alternative site, an alternative reality.
Dvorak.org/NA.
A quick note from Nick Principe, who has supported us in the past. I know I'm sponsoring a showing of 1934's The Black Cat this Friday at the local Art House Cinema. Since I have no real desire to see my name up in lights, I figured this was a good opportunity to hit some people in the proverbial mouth. Therefore, I'm using the following benefits of sponsorship to promote No Agenda. Your name or dedication listed during an on-screen title card with your sponsored film, your name listed in the July 2010 Retro Film Series program, and your name listed in the Carolina Theater Showtime magazine. So NoAgendaShow.com will be listed as a sponsor of the film and next year's Retro Film Series. This is a good idea.
This is a great idea.
I like it a lot. And in fact, if you could even do like Google No Agenda, that might even be better. Or Google NoAgendaShow.com. I know it sounds kind of double, but people seem to do that. You notice how people like go to Google and type in a URL?
I do that.
What you type it in the bar maybe, but you don't go to Google and then type in a URL.
I don't know. I got the little bar up at the top that has Google.
No, that's
I type in like YouTube.
Yeah.
And then hit the button, and then I can just click on, and I've actually saved one keystroke. I've done the calculation.
You, my friend, you are on the cutting edge.
Yes, I am. You may continue.
Hey, you can also just go out and hit someone in the mouth.
Our formula is this. We go out, we hit people in the mouth.
Chemtrails.
Shut up,
just a little cultural Marxism for a moment here, just to tie into the into our Halloween show.
Which is perfect for Freddy.
Hey, I got some cool costumes. This is something I picked up. We were talking about costumes earlier for Halloween, and of course, we've gotten into this crazy world where you can't offend anybody, you can't say anything wrong, you can't dress up, I guess, as certain things.
Blackface costumes, of course, sombreros, over-sexualized costumes like geishas, stereotypical costumes like cowboys and Indians. She also condemned having theme parties like hillbilly parties or ghetto parties because she said she wants the students to think about the impact that this can have on the community.
This is the dean of the University of Colorado, Boulder. You can't dress up sexy, can't dress up as a geisha, or any of that good stuff. Then when I was
school that was known for a bunch of rapes or something. Anyway, go on.
It doesn't matter. It goes too far.
It's outrageous.
In Calgary school. Which school is this? I want to find
in
this.
Calgary, Canada.
Yes,
Alberta.
I'm not sure
where
if
all the money is. Calgary.
I'm not sure if it's in Alberta or not.
Well, that would be where Calgary is.
The school has decided to no longer have an honor roll because it
hurts the feelings of the dummies.
Yes, yes.
I'm a dummy and I'm not on the honor roll, and I feel slighted.
Quote, awards eventually lose their luster to students who get them, while often hurting the self-esteem and pride of those who do not receive a certificate.
A certificate for participation.
Oh, my God.
Let's take all the competitiveness out of the whole Western society. See what that gets us.
Well, it's not going to end up well. I mean, John, you've been around a little bit longer than I have. But, no, you don't have to do that. This is not Twit. I'm not ageist. I have respect.
That's Twit. I'm not ageist.
This week
They're ageist on that show.
This week in ageism. Has it always been this nuts? Is it a little nuttier now? Do you think that might have to do with we're just annoyed by more?
It's a fallout from the 60s. There's no doubt about it in the 70s.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, man, do your own thing. Oh, man, do your own thing. Be nice. That's what it's from. It all came from the drug smoking LSD era of the late 60s and 70s. Yeah, oh, man, you do your own thing. Be nice. That never existed before then. It was people beating each other up, and
it's funny because my daughter was born in between because I'm a very young dad, which I'm very, very, very thankful for so many reasons. But so she was born in 1990, and it was a great time. The 90s, it was just money and everything was great, and it was we had like the first Gulf War or whatever. That was. Hey, CNN, that's an interesting channel, It's like they got guys standing there and like bombs fall on them. And that was kind of cool. But none of this insanity But somewhere it really, and it's almost like parents who are,
and the self-esteem movement had a lot to do with it.
Parents who are my age but have children who are now 6, 7, 8, 9. They're crazy about what they're doing is they're hurting their children. I think. There's like wear a helmet to go outside and don't go outside at all.
Helmet. You're walking down the street, wear a helmet.
I'm not kidding, man. I'm not kidding. And everything's so...
There's nothing funnier than a little kid walking down the street with a helmet on his head.
I can't wait to see what shows up for Halloween. And I'm sure we're going to get in trouble, for scaring kids drunk. Because that is the plan. No kidding.
That's what you say. And it won't take much. That's the good news for you.
Yeah.
You're not going to spend a lot of money getting drunk, that's for sure.
2 glasses, I'm done.
So, but I think the sound system has to be there.
Oh, no, we're going to do the sound system. Definitely. The sound system is hey, kids, Freddy the Firewall says, come on to our house. Look what we got. Hey, it's great here. Come on.
Up next, Bambi. Bambi onto the stage.
Hey, Mom. Your name Bambi?
Is your name Bambi? Should ask every little kid that.
Is your name Bambi? Wow. All right. Okay, so I guess it just seems like we've gone into a place of insanity. I don't know if we can return.
It's always a forward. Yeah, no, we're not going to return. It gets returned. What happens is the natural competitiveness of people returns in a new way. It'll be the old form will remain. In other words, we're going to have to give out certificates of participation, and we can't hurt somebody's feelings. All that we're stuck with that forever. But there will be some way of sublimating that into something else. This will be some new way of making people feel bad.
Well,
I don't know what it is, but maybe it's like it's the kind of thing I was almost doing myself, which you nixed, by the way. Which was, if you're not listening to our podcast, here's what you could be listening to. Then I'd play some clips from some horrible podcast or something that was actually wasn't necessarily horrible. I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings.
No. Yeah, it was.
But that's what you're nixing. That's what it amounted to was telling me to be nice.
Well, because
you might hurt someone's feelings, even though these guys were getting publicity that they loved.
It was not. I don't care about people's feelings getting hurt, as you know, but it's so aggravating because it fills up the mailbox. Because I read my email, I gotta go say, it's just also
you dick.
Yeah, pretty much. It's so much negativity that I don't mind being negative about other people. When people turn on me, it's like it's annoying because I got a job to do, and the being honest.
It was a bad segment.
No, but the being honest and just saying what I feel about people and things, it's hard enough as is with celebrities and
right, got the Obama bots tomorrow.
Yeah, and by the way, this is great. Talking about just total stupid. I mean, this is like a little podcast on the White House website. So the White House sent out an email again yesterday. Oh, we know it's Game 6 of the World Series, but please look, the website is good, and we're getting it working, and it's going to be great. And they've put together, they've got the White House players, so they get straight from Central Casting, and they put together a little video to make you feel good about the healthcare.gov website, that it's working, and how to get through it. So we took some people who aren't native English speakers, some older people. And to me, this is just hilarious, particularly because I think they're supposed to be recruiting young, healthy people in order for the system to work. Which, I would get like some real celebrities and have them do a cool video, something that's really convincing. But no, instead we have this. By the way, these, of course, are the free loops that come with Final Cut Pro.
We keep hearing, that there are difficulties that you can register, but me and my daughter tried, and first time I registered, and it was very successful.
Have patience with the system.
What was that?
You didn't hear it?
This wasn't from the White House. There's no way they would put some unintelligible weirdo on there.
This is on the whitehouse.gov website. And
oh my God.
Yeah, and she said, first time I tried it with my daughter, I was successful. First time I registered with my daughter.
That you can register, but me and my daughter tried, and first time I registered, and it was very successful.
It was very successful.
Have patience with the system. Take your time. Read the whole screen that you're on, and make sure that you are following everything you can possibly follow. But just don't give up, because as time goes along, things are definitely going to get better. I mean,
what? So I could just see people sitting there for days. I am not giving up.
This was a heck of an endeavor.
The morning of October 1st, the first thing I did actually when I got up was to go check out healthcare.gov.
Yeah, this is so believable. It's October 1st. Oh, I can't wait.
Which directed me to DC Health Link, and within 15 to 20 minutes, I had looked through all the plans, decided what plan I want that sort of was like what I had with my employer, and I got all signed up.
What I will say to people...
I love it how it's like, it was sort of like what I had with my employer. Sort of, kind of, so I took it.
And I got all signed up.
What I will say to people when they have a problem with the website, I said, don't worry, you will get in. It's really easy. Any technology will take a time.
Down at the bottom of the page.
This is how Apple should do their iPhone commercials. Don't worry, really easy. Take a time. Just put your finger there and it come and work. Hello, iPhone.
There was a bar that said having trouble logging in. It told me to clear my browsing history, clear my cache, and clear my cookies, whatever those were.
Whatever those were.
Gave me the instructions on how to do it, and once I did that, I went back onto the computer,
and all my passwords for my porn sites were gone.
Sailed right straight through, no problems at all.
You can call the phone number. They can send you something in the mail to fill out, but don't give up, because I think really everyone really should look. If you don't have health insurance, or you have private health insurance now that's not through your employer, look to see if you can save money. Cobra was $600, and now an equivalent plan of what I had is $350. So I'm saving over $250, which to me that makes a humongous difference.
Policy that I have now it contains so many more preventative health care measures than what I had before. Of course, the price was a perk, but I think that the policy itself is so much more inclusive than the one I had before. I'm very pleased.
Leni Riefenstahl called. She wants her propaganda back. This will be shown one day, and there will be children in the future who will view this as like we view grainy, scratchy, black and white, grayed out stuff from World War II and go, man, they had some propaganda back in the day? Unbelievable. But of course, we also have Joe Biden. And when you catch Joe in the halls and you ask him about stuff, you can always expect gold.
We were under the impression that it was ready to go. We had the president, to his credit, almost 7 weeks out, was saying, are we ready? And to be told by the pros, yeah, this looks like it's all ready to go, all in line. And neither he and I are technology geeks.
Really? You don't say?
We assumed that it was up and ready to run. But the good news is, although it's not, and we apologize for that, we're confident that by the end of November it will be, and it'll still be.
I like how he says, the good news is, although it's not. Joe, really?
The good news is.
Enough of Joe. I did catch one thing interesting from Sebelius. What have we always joked about when it comes to government websites?
Well, that they cost too much.
And what is the number?
8 million.
No, 18 million.
Oh, is it 18? I thought it was 8.
I thought it's always been $18 million website.
I thought it was 8, but okay, 18's fine. It's still too much.
Let's find out what this one costs. And we needed a real answer. And I'm pretty sure it was 18 million, John. I guess I'm wrong.
Can you give me a ballpark of what you have spent on this website that does not work, that individuals cannot get to? What is your cost estimate?
So far, Congresswoman, we have spent about $118 million on the website itself.
I love it. $118 million.
How do you spend that much money on a website that is nothing more than data capture, analysis, and then forwarding system.
Funny you ask, John.
You type in your name and your social security number. Put as much information as you can. You probably put a lot of extra information so it can go into a database. It gets stored in a database. Then you do a lookup of your social security number and you see who this person is. And then since you already told them what state you're in, then it's supposed to either send you to the state site.
Yeah. All right. Stop. Just stop.
This is not a $100 million deal.
Hey, I have an IT insider. A number of them actually contacted me, and I would like to read it because we were talking about rolling back one revision, just using the versioning system and rolling.
Right, and my thesis was they don't have a revisioning system in place that they can do that.
Hail the foots, Adam and John. So I don't work on the contract responsible for healthcare.gov, but I do work on another federal contract, and he mentions the agency, which I'm going to omit to protect his identity. CGI also works on this contract, and I interface with them closely and on a daily basis. These people are idiots. They don't know what Git is, GOT is, or anything, nor Subversion, or even crusty-ass RCS. Nothing is version controlled. It's all seat of the pants. When we moved www.somethingorother.gov, the testing consisted of, hey, I'll run Apache Bench, which is typing AB from the command line, and that's it. When this story broke about their website, I knew what would be found. Half-ass testing. Unless CGI works differently on this contract than every other one, I promise they don't do version control. Federal IT work is like amateur hour at the Apollo. Please keep my name private, as I'm already having to feed my MILF and 3-month-old human resource poverty mac and cheese. I'm a Unix admin as well as a manager for another contractor for the government. Yes, specific questions, etc., etc. And I received the same from multiple IT insiders that this is not version control. You were right. You were right. Not version controlled.
You can tell a mile away that there was going to be number two, they won't have this thing running like a champ by the end of November. It'll be worse.
Well, and maybe who knows if there's a reason for it.
Yeah, there's a reason for it. They took the money.
Yeah.
It's like the comment that we had in one of the clips. The guy says the one guy was discussing this. He said that something like 92% of all contracts over 10 million or 100 million, one of the two,
are thievery.
all folded. They never
work. They never work. Right. Yeah.
They never worked ever.
Yeah.
Just money down the drain.
However, it's a perfect opportunity once again, and it's...
Why doesn't somebody go to jail, by the way?
Oh, please. No, please. No one's going to jail. But we are going to promote yet more new internet services that are better. Of course, we've had Kayak and Amazon. We have a new one in the mix, John. Did you hear the new...
By the way, the Kayak thing keeps coming up over and over. Who is something's...
Well, that's the Chicago. We know it's Chicago.
It's the Chicago thing. Okay, that's right.
But here's Mike Rogers, who somehow is also in on this thing. So not only is it... there's a commonality in these things, in the NSA and healthcare.gov, is Mike Rogers. And here he is promoting, I guess, his favorite shop.
Financial information at risk because you did not even have the most basic end-to-end test on security of this system. Amazon would never do this. ProFlowers would never do this.
Yeah,
Kayak would never do this.
How can we get ProFlowers all of a sudden?
No. ProFlowers was in the conversation before. This is not new.
That they don't go down on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, but why ProFlowers? FTD and all these other bigger companies are the ones that would make more sense to promote, but they promote ProFlowers.
That's right.
Have you dug something up?
No.
Well, our producers out there need to dig something up on this.
Someone's going to dig something up.
For some reason, they're saying ProFlowers instead of FTD,
which is the big one.
Whatever these things are.
But this is a gem of a clip. This is now I don't watch her anymore because I find her so annoying, but someone pointed this clip out to me. Carol Costello, she does the morning show on CNN. She used to be in the morning until they decided they really didn't want anyone watching, and they brought in that morning show with our friend Michaela. So now we're 37,000 people now in the demo. In fact, on our half of our stream that's working now, more people are listening to this show than watch CNN's morning show. Carol Costello comes after that, and she's always saying, go to facebook.com/CarolCNN. Go to facebook.com/CarolCNN. But she led up a little thing about the Obama administration and the press, which was nice to know.
There is a larger story, which Jason began to touch on there, and that is the Obama administration's thin-skinned, we could call it, or he mentioned the record prosecution of leaks. There's a consistency in the Obama administration of going after people who embarrass the administration, but not those that take shots or cover for the administration.
And Will really does have a point, because I felt it firsthand when I was, reporting on the presidential race. I mean, President Obama's people can be quite nasty. They don't like you to say anything bad about their boss, and they're not afraid to use what other means they have at hand to stop you from doing that, including threatening your job.
Really? I love it.
Well, that doesn't sound right.
From CNN, no less. Threatening your job.
We're going to get you fired for saying that Obama's not 6'1".
You see, the Valerie Jarrett was tweeting, and whatever. She'd like, fact. Whatever. It doesn't matter what she was tweeting, but her Twitter name is what caught my attention. VJ44.
All right.
Meaning she is the true 44th president. I'm telling you.
That's funny.
She's crazy. And
so one of the things, I got a couple of things here. Well, actually, you want to take our big donor list out of the way here before we go into some...
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I'm going to show my support by donating to No Agenda. Imagine all the people who could do that. Oh yeah, that'd be fab. Yeah, on No Agenda in the morning.
It's actually not a big list, which is why we're going to sneak it in.
It's a short list. We can get it out of the way. We hope to pick it up a little bit on
Sunday.
Sunday. Daniel Ehrlich in Boalsburg, Pennsylvania, $133.32. He may have a note in the email. I haven't seen it. But he sent a check in. Keith McColpin in Imperial, Pennsylvania. 2 Pennsylvanians right in a row. $125.
Now, unfortunately, go ahead.
I'd like to. We got your girlfriend listed on the happy birthday. So if you could have Adam during the birthday segment reassure her. Now, I wanted to talk about this. Reassure her that a new DMV picture does not look like a drunken celebrity photo mugshot. Now, we don't have. I asked him for the picture because I don't think it would make the girlfriend feel any better to say something like this if you haven't actually seen the picture.
Yeah, and I mean...
It would be an insult to your girlfriend, Amy.
Yeah, and it depends. If she looks like Nick Nolte's celebrity mugshot, we're going to have to talk. But...
So this is like an undoable request.
Yeah, I think send us the picture, and then, then we can actually talk about it.
And then we'll decide maybe. And, obviously, she feels bad. Who cares what your DMV photo looks like?
By the way, I think it's actually kind of cool to have your DMV photo like really with bug-out eyes and really crazy.
I had about 25 years ago or so, I had my DMV photo, and I had a pair of those. They were kind of big glasses. This was during the Miami Vice era. My hair was swept back, and you can't take pictures with, they won't let you take pictures with sunglasses on. But these were those glasses that when light hit them, they darkened really fast.
Yeah.
I don't even know you can buy those anymore, but they just instantly darkened. So my DMV photo had me looking like some creep drug dealer with these dark glasses. It was hilarious.
Perfect. Well, you know Sir Gene, right? Have you ever met Sir Gene?
I've only corresponded with Sir Gene.
Okay, so Sir Gene...
and by the way, apparently he's the one that's trying to get you to meet your buddy Brian Brushwood.
Yeah, no, it's going to happen. I'll meet with Brian, and I'll be packing heat.
You better.
So Sir Gene moves to Austin, or wanted to move to Austin. And I said, okay, well, I can hook you up with John and Chris, the real estate, our real estate boys. And so they're driving around, they're doing everything with Gene, trying to, and every single time, because he wanted to, I guess, lease something first. He would put in for to apply for the rent or whatever. 2 things would happen. First, he'd write down under pets, yes, I have snakes, which would always be kind of an issue with some of the homeowners. But then they'd have a copy of his driver's license. Now, Sir Gene, he has many, many different looks. I've seen him. He's like a chameleon, and I guess that's part of what he does. But his driver's license, John, he looks like an honest-to-God 100% Taliban card-carrying terrorist with a beard, like a crazy terrorist with a big black beard. And the name, she didn't even say Gene on. She just say Mohammed, the terrorist. and I think that is the kind of picture you want, basically.
Yeah, well, something fun.
Anyway, yes. So we don't have any Making It Rain donations today. So we go from 125 to 100. And I do want to say that we have now a pack of 3 different jingles, which I wanted to play. You already heard it once maybe on the show. I wanted to play it because now if someone donates the Making It Rain 11111, then you get a choice.
Straight from Reseda, here she is, Raven. Give it up.
That'll be one of the Making It Rain jingles that we'll now play for you.
By the way, Reseda is Reseda.
Yes.
Somebody says, it's not REC, whatever. Reseda is a little town in the San Fernando Valley, which is the valley where all the porn is made.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going. Todd Simons in Brisbane, Australia, $100, and he needs some house buying karma. Since we was short today, we might as well give him some.
You betcha.
You've got karma.
And now we just run through what we got left, which is Joshua Baxter, 8888, in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Nicholas Oman in Thief River Falls, Minnesota, nuts, 7777. Sir J.D. in San Jose, California, 7747. And he's got some math here that
he also wants a big F karma cancer shout out for his friend Karen, and I definitely want to do that for him and his friends because he is, of course, a knight. We break for knights.
You've got karma.
Break for knights.
We do.
And now we got down to
69. Whoa! I see it.
If this happens one more time, then we stop. The jingle is out.
This is it. It's
6969 from Eric Nagel in Bunschoten, Spakenburg, Utrecht.
Bunschoten, Spakenburg.
So there you go. He's a knight today.
Is he a knight today? Oh, really? No, that's it. Hold on. Let me just make sure we've got. He'll be Sir Eric Nagel, Knight of Spakenburg. Nice. Congratulations.
Baronet Oleg Rakatine in Richmond Hill, Ontario, 6789. Keith Edwards, 6666.
Which is a nice one, by the way. 6789. That's kind of cool.
6789 is cute, yeah. In Gilbert, Arizona, these are all 66. Our final 6666. We're going to let this go one more show, and then after Sunday night, the 6660 button on the PayPal is going to be discontinued. So this will be your last chance to congratulate us on our 6th anniversary. Keith Edwards, Gilbert, Arizona. Stefan Agarhudi. Southampton, UK. Eric Thorson, Bergen, Norway. William Bachman is actually the way it's pronounced, in Port Hueneme.
Very good.
California. Robert Goshko in Sherwood Park, Alberta, where all the money is. Mickey Kennedy in Kingsville, Maryland. Jaris Corporation in Arlington, Virginia. Wink, wink,
hello.
Nudge, nudge.
Say no more.
Robert Dimoff in London, England. And finally, Michael.
He says, I like his note. Thought I better get on in the action. Need to support the Freddy the Firewall firmware upgrade.
There you go. Michael Siegenthaler in Parts Unknown. Matthew Mawerder in Bend, Oregon. Chris Johnstone in Tapping, Australia. And Anonymous from Parts Unknown. And finally, Sir Alan Bean, who usually comes in every month with $50. It came in with $66.66 and a note of apology.
Well, that's all right.
He said he's something. He wasn't. I don't know what he was talking about, to be honest about it. He says he insulted us, but it was just in jest.
No, I think he sent a note about something, and knights can never insult me. You can't. You come up. You can come up to my face, spit in it, and say douchebag, and I'll be like, "That's cool, man. You're a knight."
Yeah, if you're a knight, you have privileges.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Eric Hochel in Berlin, Deutschland, $52.
Right up the street from Laura Poitras.
Probably. Kevin Payne, keep an eye on her. Kevin Payne in Chantilly, Virginia, $50.69. And finally, Alex Schoenveld in Sun Prairie, Wisconsin, $50. Ultimate Gaming Hardware, Richfield, Minnesota. And finally, Carol Barron in Malmo,
I think it's Carl.
Sweden.
Carl Barron.
Did I say Carol? Oh, yeah. Carl. Sorry, Carl. Carl Barron in Malmo, which is the southern little town. I've been there. Cute little place.
Really?
Yeah. You can take the subway, essentially, or the transit or whatever, the tram from Copenhagen. Now it takes you to Malmo, or it's I guess it's the train, but it goes across the new bridge. It's the train. It's got a bridge track on it, and you go across, and you're in Malmo, and then you look around and go, "Wow, this is a small town. There's nothing here to do." Where you get back on the train, and you go,
where the babes at?
There's no babes.
What?
It's just Malmo. It's got
no babes. Oh, it's not worth it.
That's the Muslim area where a lot of Muslims are.
And then we have a special karma request, and as you know, we break for nights. It doesn't compare to the cancer karma, but it's a life changer for Dame Melissa. Sir Alec, who was knighted before birth, that's the breast milk and pablum kid, and myself, we're struggling with bank-related computer failures in the application for our first house. It's not looking too positive right now, and this is the house for us. I hope I haven't missed the deadline for this karma request. Thank you from Sir Todd, Dame Melissa, and Sir Alec. And the karma, of course, is coming your way. But I will tell you, if something is stopping you, it wasn't the house. Take it from someone who's bought and sold houses right into the poorhouse, actually.
You've got karma.
I'd say that's the rule. If something's stopping you from getting it, it is not the house. Would you agree, John?
I wouldn't argue with that.
Well, you got to sell that place, man, and there in San Francisco.
I got time. The 2017 deadline's a ways off.
No, but it's like it's hot now before the bubble bursts. I mean, everyone's like, it's crazy.
I know my house went up like $500,000 in the last.
And it was only worth $100,000. The double wide.
It's amazing.
I'm telling you, just sell $500,000. Did you just say that? Sell this thing.
Yeah, we're working on it.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't really.
I got to clean it out. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
I can't get my office cleaned.
Oh, wow.
I need to bring pros in.
That's a reality show is what that is. We could actually sell
an archive. You're just like moving the
Smithsonian. The Smithsonian Institute.
Exactly.
Do you know that I would rent a trailer. If I'd park an RV next to it. Well, I can't really do that because you don't really have a next to it, but down on the street. And I would create a reality show about emptying out that place. I bet it is. I mean, and to have you like,
boring.
No, and you like, yeah, no, look at this.
Everyone who like, there's a bunch of stuff in the basement.
You
so you go down there and you grab a box of stuff because the idea is you take a box and you go through it and throw it out.
Uh-huh.
But you can't. You go through. Wow, where did you get this clipping?
Yeah.
Holy mackerel!
Look at this half a thing.
Get this.
I know it would be beautiful. This is a dream. It's kind of a combination between Hoarders and what's the storage unit?
Oh, the storage.
Right, storage wars. It'd be Hoarder Storage Wars is what it is. Yeah, I can pitch it. It's like Dustin Hoffman meets Storage Wars meets Hoarders with a little bit of Duck Dynasty thrown in. I could sell this, man. All right. I'm just saying. It'd be great. Hey, thank you very much. We, of course, understand that the list is shorter today because of the big celebrations, but the usual suspects came in and some new ones as well to support us and prop us up, and we, of course, highly appreciate that. It keeps us going. It's the only way this show works until John can sell the house. But, of course, that's the end of an era because then he'll have to move to Washington. This is why you don't want to sell it.
I think I'd rather move someplace. I'm not going to move to Washington. We want to sell that place, too.
Oh, really?
There's better places to live.
Yeah. Where would you want to live?
I want to get a Pinot Noir vineyard in the Dundee Hills area of Oregon.
Oh, Oregon. Interesting. Also a no-income state. Is there also no income tax in Oregon?
No, there's income tax in Oregon. Oh. There's no sales tax.
Oh,
and the income tax in Oregon is this. Your best bet. Here's your bet. I've said this before. I'll say it again. Because Oregon's income tax, even though there's no sales tax, which saves you a ton of money, but the income tax is the same as California. But here's what you want. You want to move to southern Washington, the Vancouver area, southern Washington, and you want to right across from Portland, and you get no personal income tax when you're living there. But then you drive across the bridge to Portland to do all your shopping because there's no sales tax.
Right,
so you're going back and forth. It's a very short drive. Now, they're trying, according to one of my correspondents, he says that, yes, this is the best idea ever, except they're trying to create an $8 toll on this bridge.
Per axle.
The cheap bastards.
Right.
Anyway.
Okay. But so you're looking to kind of settle down a little, retire a bit.
I don't know what we're doing, okay?
I'm sorry. Didn't mean to
I know you're trying to roust me.
Well, no, I'm no.
Well, we're actually seriously thinking of moving to Austin. How do you think that would work out?
Is that really a serious?
My wife hates Texas.
Well, she's never been to Austin, has she?
No, of course.
Well, then how can she hate it?
She just does. She's bigoted when it comes to some things. That's one of them.
It's all right. It's all right.
Too hot.
Yeah. Now, I'm sure the rain is nice where she is now. I'm only saying because I'm your friend and I feel I need to alert you to a market-based circumstance that you may not be taking advantage of because of.
I'm very familiar with these ups and downs, pretty much.
Yeah, but but how old are we going to be on the next up?
It's going up now.
That's what I'm saying.
Here.
But this is a bubble, and it's going to pop. And there's going to be blood on the moon, as my mom would say. That's a great saying. Do you know the saying, blood on the moon?
Yeah, and I don't know what it
I don't know where it comes from either.
It's just I
don't know. One of those 60s things. There's going to be blood on the moon because it's going to be.
I'm working on it. Believe me, I'm actively working on it.
It's going to be a slaughter when all of these stupid companies that have all received angel funding. That's another great Ponzi scheme. Calacanis, I'm looking at you. This angel funding. And then, been slurped up with total rip-off contracts by venture capitalists. It was basically robber barons. It's going to be, and when all this stuff just falls apart, it's going to be blood on the moon. It's going to be horrendous. San Francisco, they might as well just chop that piece off and let it float away into the ocean.
It could happen by itself.
This is true. All right, thank you all very much for your support. It is highly appreciated. We don't take no venture capital funding like lots of the news outfits today.
Dvorak.org/NA.
And we don't take it from rich billionaires either, although we're open to conversations.
It's your birthday. On No Agenda.
Paul Vella, congratulations. He celebrates today, turning 45. Keith McCoplin says happy birthday to his girlfriend, Amy. She celebrated, looks like she celebrated yesterday, but it says today, but we'll just say happy birthday to her. And Ultimate Gaming Hardway says happy birthday to Corey Mack. And we congratulate all of you from your buddies here, the best podcast in the universe.
It's your birthday, yeah.
And then we have a couple of nightings to do. This is kind of exciting, as we have a double nighting for the brothers, and we have Sir Wilbert and then Sir Eric, who just all of a sudden discovered that he was a knight. This is how it goes. Draw the blade out there, and I would like to ask. All right, David Julian, James Julian, step forward. Wilbert Raps and Eric Nachel, come on down and kneel, as I am very proud to now pronounce the Sir Julian and Sir James Julian, Sir Wilbert Raps and Sir Eric Nachel, Knight of Spakenburg. That's right, join our round table where we have the rewards of hookers and blow, geishas and fried chicken, rent boys and Chardonnay, hot pants and booze, wenches and beer, geishas and sake, vodka and vanilla, bong hits and bourbon, mutton and mead. And of course, if you choose, we can still bring out the opium and warm orange juice. We have a little left over from our nighting the other day, from our China night.
The next night from China, we'll get that same, I'm sure.
That's that same service.
Exactly.
What am I hearing?
So I have nothing.
No, I heard something really weird in the background. You know what's funny? I had last night I'm prepping, and I knew everyone.
Is that what you call it?
Prepping. I'm prepping, and everyone knew that we had a huge storm coming, and I have my new handheld ham radio.
Yeah.
With the one with APRS, which is like this cool digital messaging thing. Never mind. And all of a sudden it go whoop 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 whoop. I'm like, what the hell? And apparently it has the analog old school giant voice system built in for the National Weather Service. And the National Weather Service can trigger an alert on this thing. And it was pretty cool because it switches over and you get a really detailed alert. The National Weather Service, those guys are good.
Huh.
They know right down. And I was impressed, I have to say.
Well, I guess.
I was very impressed. And they were right. Flooding, everything. It was pretty bad here.
Well, that's what happens when you have people living in floodplains.
We don't live in the floodplain.
So, I have
no, do so.
By the way, I have a hummer for the next show. That's an ummer, actually, and I think she may be getting close to the record.
Mm-hmm.
Another spokeshole from some operation.
Oh, excellent.
I have an all-purpose Evergreen Classic Street comment that you can use at any time you want. I think this is another one that should go into the files, and the Evergreen files, to be used on any occasion.
I'm concerned. It's scary.
That's a very good one. I like it.
It's a very good one. It fits into everything. I'm concerned. It's scary.
Yeah, I'm putting this into the Evergreen file right now. And, I think it's just sometimes...
I'm concerned. It's scary.
Very good. Yeah, very good, Jen. I'm liking it a lot.
I ran into, by the way, the Euro News.
Oh, yes.
Which I've been listening to.
Those guys.
They actually, all our news outlets in the United States in particular, and even the BBC and others, have it that Russia has anti-gay laws, for the Olympics, just to try to, I don't know who's trying to extort who, but whatever.
Whereas we know that these are really laws that are pitted against the American entertainment industry to charge tens of thousands of dollars for violations of a promiscuity law, not an anti-gay law.
But at least these guys got the thing, so they did have an anti-gay kind of a theme, but they actually got the gist of the basis correctly, and I was actually stunned by this.
As Russia prepares to host next year's Winter Olympics, President Vladimir Putin is keen to make sure nothing derails its success. Introducing the head of the International Olympic Committee to host city Sochi, Putin says everyone will be welcome. He's been accused of discrimination against homosexuals by his critics, but stresses there'll be nothing of the sort at the Games. We're doing everything, our organisers, athletes and fans, so that participants and guests feel comfortable in Sochi, regardless of nationality, race or sexual orientation. The International Olympic Committee has praised preparations for the Games, but a new Russian law banning homosexual propaganda among minors has been casting a shadow over the lead-up to the event.
Yeah. Well, not really. Putin now moves ahead of President Obama in the Forbes power ranking list. I'm sure you saw this.
Yep.
Which I think is right on. Did I send you that thing, that like 23 pictures comparing Putin to Obama?
Forbes always gets everything slightly off, but,
It doesn't matter. It's all Ministry of Truth. It's just funny. It's just another reason to put out a picture of Putin, with his shirt off on that horse, or catching like huge, sharks. I love it. That's some propaganda right there. What do we get of our president? Running around the pool with a little water gun.
Right.
That's bad.
Or driving a bicycle with a stupid helmet on his head.
It's really dumb. I've got a document here which I'm not going to dissect, but I would like people you should just have it in your arsenal. Just download it from the show notes, 561.nashownotes.com. It'll be under clips and stuff. That's where all the clips and stuff goes. It is from the European Union, a 60-page document, technical report, John, titled Development of EU Eco-Label Criteria for Flushing Toilets and Urinals.
They're spending their time on valuable information.
It really is. We are now going to have, like we have the labeling system if something's Energy Star compliant for electrical devices. So now you're going to have
Crapper compliant?
Yeah. how much they flush, how they flush, what system.
how much water they use.
How much, yeah. 60 pages of this stuff.
60 pages of, oh, brother.
Toilet and urinal. Is it urinal or urinal?
It's urinal.
In England, they say urinal.
They do?
Yeah, it tripped me out the first time I heard that.
You sure they weren't just messing with you?
No. I'm pretty sure it's they say
urinal.
Urinal. Your Highness, urinal. Toilet and urinal suites and flush-free urinals are the functioning units and as such represented the core of the scope. Oh, man. Nevertheless, there is need for including in the product group both suites, one-piece products, and independent equipment such as toilet receptacles, urinals, and flushing systems, which make functioning units only when combined. We are really barking up the wrong business tree. Can you imagine just doing a 60-page report on toilets?
It's unbelievable.
It's the European Union, man. And I caught a thing. Where is it? So they had their big hoo-ha, the big powwow thing, and I was listening to this report, and then something caught my ear.
Heads of state and government underlined.
That's Haiku Herman, of course.
The close relationship between Europe and the United States and the value of that partnership. They expressed their conviction that the partnership must be based on respect and on trust.
So I was hearing this, and now something came up. I'm like, hold on a second.
Including as concerns the work and cooperation of secret services.
Mm-hmm.
On economic matters, the leaders discussed ways to strengthen the banking union and keep up momentum on the EU's roadmap for economic and monetary union.
Did you know that this banking union thing had gone into effect?
I think I might have.
Because it only got signed on the 15th. And I didn't hear any reports about this at all. And as I went looking, I'm like, banking union. So what they've done is, of course, what was the plan all along, is they've created a union like the European Union of States and Peoples, etc., except for the banking system. And of course, this is going to save the citizenry, so you don't have to pay for mistakes made by the banks. But somehow I doubt that. I found a little report which I thought was just enlightening, because you can't have any kind of union without some awesome new buildings.
The skyscrapers of Europe's banking centers are imposing structures, but they've also become symbols of crisis and taxpayer bailouts. Finance ministers in Luxembourg agreed the new EU banking supervisor would monitor banks to identify problems early and head off future financial crises.
We need the new banking supervisor so that taxpayers are shielded. Banks will pay for banks, and to have this prevention system up and running.
When building is complete on the European Central Bank's new headquarters, the new authority will start work here in a year. It will be tasked with keeping tabs on Europe's 130 top banks. First on the agenda is a stress test. Results would indicate whether lenders have enough capital.
The finance ministers still have a lot to decide. Central questions are who pays if a bank cannot pass the stress test, and what happens if a bank goes bust before the resolution mechanism is in place.
Wow.
Germany thinks that it's mainly the players in the private sector who are to be held responsible. Other nations think that banks should have easier access to public bailout funds.
Uh-huh. Hello. Yeah, enjoy that, Euroland.
I don't know what to make of this. I mean, this is like, obviously, something's up.
Well, I think it's Italy. Italy essentially just fell over the cliff. It was maybe 5 or 6 months ago, there was these reports like, oh, Italy's on the upswing and everything's great, and it looks like we're coming out of this. And it turns out that all they had really done is the department that evaluates the economy had changed the questions on the questionnaire or something, and now it turns out, oh yeah, youth unemployment, 40%, moving towards what Spain is. I mean, you cannot turn around the Eurozone without Italy. Italy is humongous, and to have youth, we're talking 25-year-olds. These aren't teenagers. 25-year-olds, no job. No job.
Yeah, well, you have too many of them, and you end up with a government overthrow. I think they're just trying. I think what they're doing is they're looking around. They're saying, this is not good. This could cause an issue. We have to we have to create a fascist state. The entire EU has to be locked down, militarized state, like the U.S. has done. See the way they do it? That's the way you do it. You militarize, put lots of cops everywhere, make everybody in the military, make it, play anthems all the time. We play more anthems in this country. Nowadays, in the baseball game, besides playing the national anthem at the beginning of the game, now in the 7th inning stretch, they play America the Beautiful with a bunch of military guys standing around. It used to be Take Me Out to the Ballpark.
Yeah.
It used to be what they'd sing. No. You got to play more military stuff and a flyover, which God knows what those cost. And so they fly over. So we've got it down. U.S., we've done a good job. We're the empire, and we have this all set up.
And people ask me why I'm not interested in sports. Because it's militaristic crap meant to keep men, keep their testosterone at the right levels. Just you got to yell a little bit once in a while.
It doesn't hurt. So whatever the case, the Europeans, because all they have is soccer, which has got to be
field hockey. We have female field hockey.
Well, lacrosse is good too. So they don't have quite the militarized clampdown that could keep some minor revolution from occurring. I mean, look what happened in Greece. I mean, they didn't report it much here, but we watched it. It was just the riots left and right. They don't report anything.
Well, even worse than that, they arrested like 20 guys from the Golden Dawn Party. They arrested them. and the people are rioting now because, of course, the Golden Dawn Party is being seen as, they're fascists, they're neo-Nazis. This is just what is being reported in, some in some Western media. I'm not so sure. I always have to question.
I look at them as kind of libertarians with
because I remember Pim Fortuyn when I was living in the Netherlands. And he was like, he's the Dutch Le Pen. The guy was a 6'5" bald gay guy, professor, who just said it like it was. He said, hey, man, this Muslim stuff is going to come and bite you in the ass. We got to do something about this. And then he got assassinated a week before his party won the elections. Assassinated, just shot in Holland. And so I don't buy any of that. And in fact, I have a clip. Interesting you bring it up.
Around 1,000 supporters of the far-right Golden Dawn Party took to the streets.
The far-right, it could be 10,000 supporters for all we know.
Of Athens on Sunday. The group chanted Greece belongs to the Greeks and slogans against the Prime Minister. They're demanding the release of 6 MPs, including their leader, who faced charges of being part of a criminal organisation. Last week, the government cut off state funding of the group and lifted their immunity pending trial. Earlier on, an anti-fascist demonstration took place which aimed to march on the headquarters of the party dubbed a neo-Nazi criminal gang by the government. Police trucks were positioned to keep the two groups apart, and the day passed without incident. It was the murder of an anti-fascist rapper last month, allegedly by a member of Golden Dawn, which triggered public outrage, putting pressure on the government to take a stand.
It's a lot of alleged and
these stories sound pretty vocative.
Yeah. And I love how their immunity and money was all stopped before the trial.
Yeah, that way you can't spend. That way you can't afford a lawyer.
Yeah, and
it's a good gag. It's a great gag.
This is not new.
We do that here. We confiscate everything, and then you're kind of on your own. You have to go to a public defender. Yeah. So there's something's going to happen on November 1st. I've got this. Watch November 4th in Egypt. That when they start throwing dates out at you for specific things. And by the way, that would be 1 week after the 6-week thing. So something. If we're going to have that 6-week thing, which
but it has to be FBI related. I don't think.
Well, I know, but this is. I'm just saying. This. I don't know what the point of this throwing this date out is, and it's got to do with Egypt. But something's going to happen on the 4th in Egypt, at least.
Photos released said to show the moment of arrest. The Egyptian authorities have detained senior Muslim Brotherhood leader Essam El Arian as the crackdown against the Islamist movement continues. Arian is said to have been taken from a Cairo residence where he'd been in hiding. The Muslim Brotherhood group was banned and many of its leaders detained after the army deposed Islamist President Mohamed Morsi last July. At least 1,000 people have died in the violence that followed. Before his detention, Arian had described the deposing of Morsi as a divergence from the true democratic path and called for dialogue. Morsi supporters have called on Egyptians to hold mass protests on November the 4th, the day their leader goes on trial for inciting murder, raising the prospect of more bloodshed as the country's political crisis goes on.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be a nightmare.
It's a nightmare now. And, of course, what do we have? What's our kind of thing? What kind of protests and wild things do we have to moan and groan about, and with drones and murdering Americans and all the rest of it? Yeah. We have Napolitano running going to take over the University of California, and so we have a protest that goes something like this.
Sorry, man, I don't know what.
Oh man, I do it. I got Napolitano. There's only one mention of her in this whole list.
Yeah, but I look. It has to be the first word because it's alphabetical. Don't you understand? It's hey,
yeah, but
hey,
this
ho.
list is
Okay.
so small.
Oh, jeez. No.
I was invited to pet a shark. I just got here from Washington. I've had my fill of sharks.
While Napolitano may have left Washington behind, her legacy as Homeland Security chief follows. Protesters chanted outside Napolitano's visit today to Oakland Tech, saying she's not the right fit for UC.
Janet Napolitano, under the administration of Obama, was responsible for escalating federal immigration enforcement and deported a record number, more than 2 million immigrants from this country.
Napolitano also announced an additional $10 million in support for graduate students and postdoctoral researchers. And Julie and Frank, I'm told that this money will not come from tuition or state revenues, but rather reserves. Reporting live tonight here in San Francisco, right. I'm Heather Holmes. KT.
What's crazy about this? I'm sorry.
Well, I'm going to say, can protesters in the United States come up with something other
than hey, ho,
ho, XYZ has got to go?
Yeah.
That is the stupidest thing. I hear it. They're protesting General Electric. Hey, ho, this asshole's got to go. I mean, anyway, go on.
Well, first, I'd like to point out that they're protesting immigration. This is Berkeley. How about the police state? How about the militarization of state and local police forces through? How about the suspicious activity reporting, the brown shirt Stasi Nazi crap that she instituted?
Gouging for tuition.
No, I know, but I'm just saying that the best protest we have in the United States of America, and in fact in many countries around the world, is this podcast. This is the best.
That's pretty pathetic if you think about it.
Well, it's extremely pathetic.
But hey, ho, this podcast does not have to go.
And I saw, what's her name? Mina, the Code Pink lady.
Oh, God.
She was, did you see her? She was...
I didn't. I get a kick out.
No, so she's cute, by the way. She's just super cute. You just want to pick her up, little pixie cute.
Well, you say that because you're a man.
I sure do. But she was sitting behind Kaiser, Alexander, and all those guys. She had the giant sunglasses on, the huge, the joke sunglasses that are twice as big as your head, and it said "Stop spying" on the glasses. And she's on her website. I bet they hated that. Like, really? We need some. It's gonna come down to bad stuff. Maybe. I don't know. You think that the university student maybe? Nah, it's just not gonna happen. It's just not.
Everyone's too late.
Yeah. So yeah. I get depressed when I think about it, John. You got to pull me out of that. I get really depressed.
Okay. Well, here's something I want you to deconstruct. Interesting Greenland news. Is very strange story.
Greenland's parliament has voted to end a decades-long ban on mining for radioactive materials such as uranium. Greenland, an autonomous Danish territory, is looking to boost its economy, which is currently dependent on fishing and Danish subsidies. It's very important. The company expects a turnover of 9 billion kroner. Greenland's GDP is 12 billion. It will be close to doubling the GDP. It will have a huge impact on Greenlandic society. The project has been criticized by environmental groups, with NGOs warning the mining will threaten the Arctic's ecosystem. British company London Mining has won the contract to extract the iron deposits.
I thought that was a weird story. And by the way, what is Greenlandic society anyway?
It's I don't know, something we make up on television. Greenlandic.
So I thought that was interesting that there were, because their nuke thing may be going on in the background while people are, just trying to keep it quiet, the information repressed, so you don't get speculators jumping in,
right,
and buying up mining companies. Anyway, it's just out of the blue. Nobody's talked about it.
No, I saw a new thing come onto the scene. We had a lot of doctors who would listen to this show. Also, a disproportionate amount of dentists listen to the show for some reason.
Well, we have a dentite night.
Yeah, I know. But we have just a lot of oral professionals. Yeah, that's right.
In more ways than one.
That's right. Hey, oral professionals.
I wonder if that girl, female in Atlanta, still listens.
Just stop. So here's a new one. And I saw this article. I was like, oh my God, this is, we're always on the lookout for little memes and things that the pharmaceutical and healthcare industry essentially will do just crazy crap. So we've had this pre-cancer thing that we've been looking at, which is like, everyone's pre-cancer. But I think that they're kind of catching on to that. And so now we have something new called stage 0 cancer.
That's a good one.
Yeah, stage 0 breast cancer, a new term many women will start hearing, particularly as it relates to breast exams, mammograms. So stage 0 cancer is what they're calling it, stage 0 cancer. And essentially you can have it. Okay, here, I love this. According to oncologist Dr. Arkana Maini, stage 0 breast cancer is an earlier indicator of a potentially serious disease. Quote, it's pre-malignant. So left on its own, it would have developed into an invasive cancer, but maybe not. A stage 0 diagnosis is most often made following a mammogram that detects a lesion on the breast. Now, having some fatty tissue or something in a mammogram is not uncommon. I know a lot about this, I would say. The problem that I have is these reports come out and this type of new classification, now that we have new healthcare laws in place where you can have the Angelina Jolie procedure done and it's insured. Just, you might have the gene, you might be stage 0. I think we're all stage 0. Just lop them off. And this is concerning because I believe this is just being done for profit.
That would be unusual.
Well, yeah, but people need to know this because it's the same people who put helmets on their kids when they go to walk to school. We're like, oh yeah, no, it's science. I gotta go. Oh no. And speaking of which, and this will end up my day because the transhumanist stuff is really bugging me. And it started, one of our producers, let me see if I can find his note. I may not be able to get to it quick enough. Sent me, let me see. He sent me a note about a Yahoo sports story. Let me just see. Where is it? And I'm so sorry. I wasn't quite prepared for this, but it's important. Okay. I can't find it. Okay. Yahoo sports story. About the Cougars versus... Oh, hold on a second. No, is it the Cougars? I just have to find it here for a second.
About a football team, the Jaguars?
Jaguars, that's it. Cougars, Jaguars is all this. That actually helps me find the story. Why can't I find it?
You can summarize.
Yeah, I can summarize. Okay, so it was on Yahoo Sports, and it was essentially, I wanted to read it. That's why I'm angry about this, because I was so sure that I had saved it. And it's a sports story that was written automatically by an outfit called Automated Insights. In fact, I'm going to play because I found this company, and I'm going to play this little bit of a video they have on their website, just to ease you into the idea of computers writing your news, and I'll see if I can find this actual report and read it to you.
I have a background in both computer science and on the writing side, so I have computer science degrees from East Carolina University and master's degrees from MIT, and as well as a history with O'Reilly. I've authored or co-authored 10 books and was an editor for a short period of time. And so when I started thinking about an interesting business to create, I wanted to sort of marry my two passions, which was programming and writing, and that's what led me to Automated Insights. We take data, generate interesting content and stories from data. So purely from data, we can generate narrative content in either long or short form, visualizations, interactive content applications, and mobile and social content. Human readable content derived from data through software. So fundamentally, it's about having software do writing for you.
Yeah. So here it is. Jaguars pounded by the 49ers, Yahoo Sports.
Pounded. By the way, what was the name of that company that does the automated what?
Automated Insights. Yeah.
Okay, go
on. Which you can find at, I guess, automatedinsights.com. Jaguars, this is your future. Hey, Marissa Meyer, good work. Here we go. Jaguars pounded by 49ers, 42-10. The Jaguars were dismantled by the 49ers, 42-10, at home. Chad Henne completed 29 of 45 passes for 228 yards, 1 touchdown, and no interceptions. Colin Kaepernick ended up going 10 of 16 with 164 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, 1 pass, 2 rush, and no interceptions. Maurice Jones-Drew was a key factor for the Jaguars, rushing for 75, so it's all stats.
Yeah, you take stats and you write this bull crap, and it was a key factor in what they lost. How was a key factor?
It doesn't even say key factor.
You said he was a key factor.
Well, yeah, right. So that's the key factor. Where does it say key factor?
You said it. You read it.
Oh, Maurice Jones-Drew was a key factor for the Jaguars.
That's what you said,
yes,
right?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, well, let me just ask you this. He was a key factor in what?
For the Jaguars.
They lost the game, the guys.
That's what. Okay, thank you. I knew we could pull this apart. He says he was a key factor for the Jaguars.
He's a key factor in the loss? He's a key factor in them losing?
Yeah, this is your future of sports reporting, John. When you finally buy the farm and get out of reporting, get out of writing, this is what
read this crap.
We're going to have this Automated Insights will just take over. It'll be okay. Here's the John C. Dvorak Automated Insights script. Jaguars, crap.
Jaguars suck. Niners win.
Niners.
Right, that's code. I'd be all short though.
This is great. All right. So this is part of. This should be not accepted. Okay, this should be not accepted. It's just not okay. And for Yahoo Sports to publish this and actually put ads on this page is an insult to people who read Yahoo Sports. Now, this only leads to, of course, more transhumanist activity that is taking place. And something that has been bothering me for a while, and I'm sure you've seen the ads, is luminosity. Have you seen this luminosity stuff?
Yeah. But I'm not sure what you're referring to because I don't know that it's stuck in my
I shall play the commercial. One of the many. I think. Is it going to play? Here we go.
I do it to stay sharp. I take care of my body, but it was harder to work out my brain. Lumosity.com is based on neuroscience, and it just seems like games, but it's serious brain training. I am happier with my brain, definitely.
No matter why you want a better brain, Lumosity.com can help. It's like a personal trainer for your brain, improving your performance with the science of neuroplasticity.
Science!
But in a way that just feels like games. Start training with Lumosity.com right now and discover what your brain can do.
Neuroplasticity.
Neuroplasticity. And so it's Lumosity. I'm sorry, not Luminosity. Lumosity.com. And this is an Indian cabal, as heavily venture funded.
Oh, we can do that right.
Heavily venture funded, and they've got ads everywhere, and it's like, and just it's like, oh, you can train your brain, and like
this is so bogus and bogative. And by the way, since we brought it up, these Indians who never contribute to the show, and you know that the English-speaking people in the India itself have plenty of opportunity, and many of them listen. They're all boners, right?
Yeah.
might as well play a clip.
Uh-huh.
Play the contaminated spices clip.
A wake-up call. That's what some people are calling a new FDA analysis that found about 12% of spices brought to the U.S. are contaminated with insects, rodent hairs, and other unsavory items. Researchers also found nearly 7% of spice imports examined were contaminated with salmonella. The FDA says most of the insects and insect parts found in the spices are typical of those that would be living in warehouses. Spice imports from Mexico and India were found to have the highest rate of contamination.
Yeah, exactly. They don't donate. All they do is they give us bugs and hair.
Bugs and rat hair. Thanks. Thanks, India.
Thanks. So they've got this, but this idea, this is the same, and luckily I'm having dinner with the Obots, which of course includes our actual brain professor, Professor Russ, the official brain professor of the No Agenda show. I'm going to have to call him and say, dude, what is going on with this? Because it's the same people who put the helmet on the kid and, oh, you can't be a cowboy or an Indian for Halloween. They're like, oh, but let's pay Lumosity money so you can train your brain. Brain training, John.
Well, ask him about the plasticity
the neuroplasticity?
Yeah, ask him say, what is that? And see what he says. I know what he's going to say. This is a crock of crap is what he's going to say.
Parlor tricks is what he's going to say. So we've got Kunal Sarkar, CEO and co-founder. Prior to founding Lumosity, he co-founded private equity fund AIM LP, which manages $400 million in capital. This is like a toy for these boys. You got Krishna Kakarala.
Well, they're racist. They're racist because all they have is white people on their site. I guess it's because the white dummies need to get this program.
I skipped over some of the white people who work there.
Oh, yeah, there's a couple. Good.
They got some token whiteys. Like, they got she looks Iranian or Persian almost. Who is she? Dr. Farzin. Where's she from? She's at Lumos Labs. So, and they got like the partners on this thing. What do we have? Blue Shield, Blue Cross. Really? Is this going to be covered by insurance? I can get Lumosity.
That's probably the scam.
Lumosity. And they got a whole bunch of people in neuroscience from Boston University, Johns Hopkins. So, yeah, this is going to be very interesting. But the idea that you can train your brain with some kind of exercises, you could also just read.
Read more.
Yeah, do a Sudoku.
Classes.
Read.
Learn a musical instrument.
Pick up a newspaper. Learn a musical instrument. This is, but people want these shortcuts. They want shortcuts to, it's fixing my brain. It's making my brain healthier. It's so much better. Enter my new favorite toy, which you can pre-order, the AIRO. AIRO transhumanistic bracelet. This thing is an outrage. And of course, we have a video, which is proudly displayed on their site. This thing is amazing, John.
AIRO?
Yeah.
There's more to health and wellness than just counting steps. It's what you eat, how you sleep, your stress levels, and your exercise. But life is busy, and it's hard to keep an eye on everything.
Life is busy. It's hard to keep an eye on everything.
That's why I use AIRO. It's a wristband that keeps track of my lifestyle.
Oh, God, I have to stop. It's a wristband that keeps track of your lifestyle.
Help me live better. Take food, for example. AIRO keeps track of meals automatically. It's pretty cool. There's no need to take pictures or add up calories. there's a built-in spectrometer right here that keeps track of how many calories I've eaten, as well as their nutritional quality. Aero keeps track of when I exercise, as well as how I exercise. It measures the intensity of my activity, as well as the number of calories that I burn. Woo! In the morning, Aero wakes me up at the best time possible so that I can start my day feeling refreshed and alert.
Let me just review up until this point. So you actually see her eating a bowl of twigs and branches, and she's like, I don't have to worry about what I eat because the bracelet is keeping track of the calories, because it has some magical thing. It scans through your skin and measures how many calories you ate and how many you burned while exercising, and it wakes you up at the most optimal time for you, which on her bracelet is like 8:45. Yeah, bitch. Some people have to get up at 6:30 to go to work. So I don't know about your bracelet waking you up at 8:45. That's real nice and all. But wait, there's more. It takes care of her at work when you're... I know, she may work at Noodles.
It also keeps track of how many hours of deep sleep I get each night. Woo! And at work, Aero keeps track of my stress level in real time and will give me a heads up if it's getting too high. Woo!
So it tracks her stress level at work and gives her a heads up if she's too stressed. And you see her iPhone and it says, "You are too stressed. Let's try some breathing exercises." Oh, man. And I know so many people who are going to be all in on this.
It even recommends specific exercises to keep calm.
Exercises to keep calm.
But my favorite part is that Aero puts all of this information into helpful reports, showing me where I'm doing well and where I can improve. Real-time notification and daily updates make it easy for me to understand my health and maintain a healthy lifestyle.
And
Aero
ships it right to the insurance company.
Of course. Of course. But, I mean, when did
you imagine your insurance company requiring this? That's the next stage.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's just like...
That's what you set these companies up for.
Exactly. It's just like the black box.
Do you realize how much money you can save on your individual components within the insurance system if you make them wear these little bracelets?
Well,
millions.
California.
All profit to you.
California just approved the black box, didn't they?
Did they?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you got a black box for insurance purposes. Yeah. Yeah, it's all in. It's good to go. They improved. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I had a story about that.
Yeah, that's
the black box. Here it is, black box in your car, source of tax revenue from the LA Times. You ask and we play. Here we go. I'll give you the, I'm sure it's progressive, but, this is, they want this for the new road tax. That's what it is. Because, obviously, people are driving electric cars and,
right, they're not buying enough gasoline.
That's right.
To pay the taxes on the gasoline, because first they've been encouraged to drive electric cars. They're encouraged to get good gas mileage. But because they're getting good gas mileage, it's kind of screwing up the numbers, so we have to gouge them in some other way.
Well, not just them, everybody.
Well, everybody. Yeah, everybody.
So while Congress, this is the LA Times, while Congress can't agree on whether to proceed, several states are not waiting. They're exploring.
Wait a minute, hold on a second. Shouldn't the public, which has been encouraged to save money, buy dinky little cars, to get great gas mileage, be rewarded for their efforts to save the environment and stop global warming, rather than being gouged by one of these new systems?
Yes, you get a fun new gadget. What's your problem? This is great. This is what we want. I think this should be added into the Aero bracelet so that it knows when I'm driving.
But when you're walking, because you wear and tear on the sidewalks.
Exactly. So you pay your fair share.
If you're jogging, it's tearing up the place.
Pay your fair share. You've got to pay for your fair share of carbon tax, for living, for breathing, for exhaling. This is not going in the right direction. But apparently California is, I think Washington State may be in on it too, John, I'm thinking. And there is a Big Berkey water filter ad. Thanks. Had mine for a year.
Maybe you want a second one.
Anyway, so the idea is GPS put into your car, and it'll be for your insurance. It'll be for your taxes.
We can make some money on this deal.
No, we can't. We are
little bitty scramblers, just some sort of device. It doesn't have to be an illegal FCC scrambler.
No, those are already illegal.
No, this wouldn't be one of those good ones.
Excuse me, any GPS scrambler is illegal in many states.
It's like do something to the ignition system, so the car is popping little. There's got to be some way of creating an interference pattern within the GPS system that looks like it's not your fault bug.
The GPS jammers, I think they're I think they may be. I don't know what level they are. GPS jammer. They're illegal, man. You can't.
All jammers are illegal.
They didn't used to be.
Cell phone jammers are illegal.
Are they?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's not like anybody knows what to do if they find one, but they were out to get you.
Here it is. Creating quiet zones through the use of GPS jamming is more. It's illegal. Practice is illegal and being enforced by the Federal Communications Commission Enforcement Bureau.
How about this then? No jammer whatsoever. Faraday cage.
Yeah, but
I got one in my wallet.
Yeah, but you need one
my wallet over the thing.
You need one that gives bogative data. What you want is to feed the device with bogative data. If it's just like no data received, then eventually, someone's going to come and say, "Hey, your thing's not working. You don't have it on properly." What you want is a GPS transmitter that hands out groovy data that is advantageous.
Yeah, that's actually what you do want.
That, by the way, may not fall under the definition of jamming.
Well, I think it would.
I'm going to look into it. I'm going to.
Wow, look at this high-powered GPS jammer. That's $304.
How much?
From the website Signal Jammer.
Oh, nice. Signal
Phone
Jammer.
Signalblockerjammer.com.
Nice.
They have the 3 antennas. I have one of these. I had one. I don't have it anymore. I had one of these 3 antenna jammer for cell phones that had all three. It had GSM and it had CDMA. It had the 3 antennas, and you just put it in your pocket and turn it on, and it jammed all the phones within about 20 feet of you.
Mm-hmm.
It's very entertaining.
I like the idea of it should be something that you just put near your GPS receiver and it just bogative data. Like, you're driving, but you're right within the speed limit.
You're always 1 mile under the speed limit.
You're always good.
And you're going to the doctor, and you're going to the health food store, and you're constantly driving around buying good things.
In fact, John, you've hit upon it, and I think we should leave it with that. This is our future. Our future is creating transmitters that transmit slave-compliant data.
Slave compliant.
Yeah. And so when you have this bracelet on, it's going to you're barely stressed at work, just a little bit. When the boss asks you to go that extra mile.
Bad data.
Yeah.
About how great you are.
Bad Data Inc.
He ate well again today.
Yeah, how is that possible? Yeah.
Insurance premium should drop to 0.
He had everything. Oh my gosh, he ate kale again.
Which reminds me, I want to remind everybody out there, john@dvorak.org, send me your kale recipes, use the subject line kale, and we're going to do a no-agenda book on kale.
The superfood of the future.
Superfood. And we'll have that. We'll put everybody's anecdotes, and we'll put your recipes in and your anecdotes, and we'll put it together, make a little ebook out of it, and it'll be ready before Christmas if you give me some recipes, although I don't think too many people.
And we also need some art. We need some art for this giblet.
Yeah, we can do.
All right. So here is my recipe. It is, and this is one that I have had, and I will say it is the only recipe that I have actually eaten that included the superfood kale that I liked. And it's from the Food for Fitness Cafe here in Austin. It's called Goddess Kale. Ingredients are kale, tahini, lemon juice, white wine vinegar, sea salt, and black pepper. And
so
this
it's basically tahini.
Yeah, it's tahini. Yeah, it's basically tahini with kale.
Yeah,
and the tahini stuff I kind of like. That has an interesting.
Tahini's tasty. You get sick of it after a while. It's just a sesame seed paste.
Goop.
goop. So before I'm done here, I just want to play this one clip. Mm-hmm. And have you talked to any of your friends back in Europe? And this is I think it's slightly underreported over here about what this kind of crazy storms that are whacking the EU.
Yeah, in fact, the Netherlands got whacked, and
they got some great videos.
Yes, trees were down. There was a lot of spoof videos running around about it, because finally people are catching on how dumb the news is. And so they take like reports of, it's typical. Whenever you have a storm, you have you show a flag waving in the wind. You see people on the beach leaning into the wind. You show a tree that's down and an ambulance, and you're good to go. There's your package right there. There's your windy package. Yeah. So it was interesting. It was like, of course, it's all climate change. We're all going to die. But yeah, what do you got?
I just a clip that kind of summarizes it, since I think a lot of Americans in particular don't know anything about it.
Hurricane-strength winds, which battered southern Britain on Monday, left a trail of destruction before heading eastwards onto mainland Europe. In all, more than a dozen people have been killed, mainly due to falling trees or being swept out to sea. Others had lucky escapes. Dubbed St Jude in the UK, the storm was for some reason given the name Christian as it slammed into Germany and France with winds of up to 160 kilometres per hour.
Did you just say for some reason?
Yeah, I heard when I heard
what is that?
What?
Isn't that all written down?
Yeah,
isn't that all written down and predetermined what the storm names are? Well, for some reason,
they don't make it up.
Yeah. Torrential rain. In Denmark, as in other places, the wild weather brought out onlookers despite warnings to stay indoors. One student said, "I think it's 10 times worse than we're used to." For those who felt they had to go outside, they risked flying debris. Homes and businesses are now counting the cost of the damage. Although European insurers say it's too early to give accurate figures on the losses, it's likely to reach more than €1 billion. Fortunately, no one was hurt when the scaffolding in Copenhagen collapsed.
Scaffolding collapsed, I tell you.
That was a good one. That was a great video, the scaffolding collapse. It was like a whole half of a building was scaffolded and it just got blown away.
People in Amsterdam thought it was funny that someone finally got killed on the canals of Amsterdam by nature instead of by, Yugoslav gunmen. Yeah. Hey, someone got killed by something natural instead of, the Yugos coming in shooting the place up.
So they got GPS blockers for cars, but they only last 4 hours. These things are no good.
We need, so it will be SCD Inc., Slave Compliance Data Incorporated, and I think it's as simple, John, as creating a counter bracelet. So so of course you're going to be clamped on. You're going to have these bracelets. It's going to be your citizen bracelet.
Yeah, they'll be locked on.
Yeah.
Welded on.
Welded. It's funny. There's an independent movie coming out, and I think it's playing November 4th here in Austin. Part of it was funded. I don't know. I can't believe these guys had to go to Indiegogo or something to get funding for it. And it's called, what the hell is it? It's, the premise of it is, China gets pissed that we don't pay them back. It's really funny. And because of that, every single chip that was made in China, which is pretty much everything, freezes, breaks, and then they start handing out these bracelets. Like I think it's called a Citizens Freedom Band or something. It's pretty funny. And
I'll go see that, or I won't see it. I'll wait for it, or I'll get a copy.
Let me see if I can. It was actually. I don't think I have it here. It was. The trailer was pretty well done, but then they were trying to raise $50,000 on Indiegogo to finish the movie or something. It was really quite weird. I'm not sure why they were doing that. But the premise is kind of cool, where China just turns everything off. Say, okay, look, screw you guys, you're done. And then you have to wear the Chinese bracelet, and of course, ham guys. You see in the trailer, you see guys who putting 100 potatoes in series to power the ham radio. It's pretty funny. But anyway, so I think we can start the corporation, Citizens, the Compliant Data Corporation. You get a band, and it transmits compliance data into any other sensor that you're forced to wear by your insurance company or by the IRS, which is which is bound to happen.
It's happening.
Yes, it's happening. So all we need is a Kickstarter campaign.
Well, we can give it a run.
No, we won't.
I think it's designable.
No, we won't.
They'll push legislation as soon as something like this showed up.
Yeah, John, in 6 years from now, we'll be doing the same show, talking about the same
Bitching and moaning. But at least we'll have some evergreen. We have a great collection of evergreens.
We'll be living up there at your place within the wine country.
No.
I'm looking forward to it.
It's a nice area.
Oh, we got wine country in Texas now.
You've always had wine country in Texas.
Yeah, but really successful.
No, it's always been successful.
Top wines, really like hot stuff.
Yes, over there toward, I think it's toward Abilene, or it's West Texas. There's an area that has a microclimate that makes decent wine.
Yeah,
There's
beautiful.
actually some in the Panhandle, too. There's an ex-IBMer that's had a place up there for 25 years.
Yeah, I know.
Preston, I believe that's the name of that one. There's Pheasant Ridge, Llano Estacado.
I'm telling you.
The wine is, it's quaffable.
By the way, you're always invited.
You can choke it down.
You're always invited to come live in Austin. Mimi, not so much.
No.
All right, everybody, we'll be back on Sunday, and we do expect you to support us for this effort as we continue our deconstruction of the mainstream media, big data doo-doo. And I'm here in Austin, Texas, home of some great wines. In the morning, I'm Adam Curry.
And from northern Silicon Valley, where there's actually better wine, and it's always Halloween, I'm John C. Dvorak.
We'll talk to you again on Sunday, right here on No Agenda.
The best podcast in the universe.
Up next, Bambi. Bambi, onto the stage.
I'm concerned. It's scary.
Dvorak.org/NA